So he tells me we are live. So welcome to Cub Island. What the fuck? I thought it's Cub's Corner. Yeah, welcome to Cub Island. GregZilla versus King Cub versus MechaBazzilla, Broketail, or whatsoever. Yeah. So I am here with two guests. Greg and Basil. And this is because I'm not a fan of these monster movie whatsoever, movies and so on, and I'm not an expert in that. So I had to get some help for this stream here, and so I'm glad I have both here. Hi, Greg.
Hello and happy Easter.
Hi, Basil.
Hello.
Yeah, Basil has
Hello,
to play.
Cub.
Yeah, he has to play the
Oh,
bad
we're
guy.
gonna have a little fun.
He likes to play the dragon role from time to time.
Yes, yes, but as we already said, we have to lure the people in that they think, oh my God, Cub is fighting against Greg, the fight of the century. Who is going to win? But no, we are do it like the movies. We are of course just teaming up against the real enemy, the real threat.
MechaBazzilla.
Yeah, MechaBazzilla. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's a thing, by the way, which what I didn't mention in my review. Where and also Basil, how did you like your appearance in the review? Your surprise appearance.
I loved it. Every second of it was fantastic.
Yeah, he had such
Yeah,
a
it was really
great
cool.
line. Yeah, he had such a great line. I think he did it for the creature from the Back Lagoon, and I had to shorten it, the line back then. He gave me some great lines, and I had to shorten them because I didn't have so much time in this slot, and it's just yeah.
I'll have to
So
get you some more content as soon as I can.
yeah, and so I thought, oh my God, but it's such a great line how he delivered it here with the King Kong vs Godzilla, and I thought, oh, I have to use that. I have to use that. I have to find a way to use that. It always was so great. Yeah, and I tell you,
Yeah, it was really cool.
in the German version, it's the same line, by the way. And I tell you, the Germans, they're kind of surprised by that because they have no clue what's going on. They don't know. Yeah,
What did they say?
yeah, they were a little bit kind of confused, but also they didn't
That's
really
understandable.
get that this is a guest appearance, because the structure of the review is that you had before that you had for Skull Island, you had this narration where somebody says, oh, this is here, this narrator, he says, oh, this is just a fast mission, we go in and out and things like that. And I kept it kind of in the same vein when Basil came in, that people could think this is the official narration kind of when he starts. Yeah, and the
That was
Germans,
a unique editing choice.
yes. Yeah, that's the reason why I took it, by the way, because it was a last minute decision, because I had this part and I was really trying to figure out where I can use the line, and then really after Skull Island I thought, oh my God, yes, it's kind of like the same narration like in Skull Island, so I can just let it just put it in there directly in the beginning.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
just want to say thanks to your German subs for putting up with me and Basil.
yeah, and by the way, thanks to Greg, there was another review banned from YouTube. That it seems like they have a kind of detector where they find every every review where you appear in or something like that. Try to ban that
It's
from
weird, isn't it?
existence. Yeah, yeah. Here the Incredible Shrinking Man one this time. and it's really sad. It's really I don't know what they are thinking. Why the German version, not the English version, or why at all? Because this free speech thing, I think they don't give a crap on that. I have the feeling.
Yeah, it certainly feels like 1984 or something, doesn't it?
Yes, and it should be concerning. Even for YouTube standards, my videos are clearly reviews with maybe here and there some my
Commentary.
opinion. Commentary, really. You can't say these are political videos or something like that.
No, it's legitimate commentary.
Yeah, and it's really just in there for 30 seconds maybe or something like it's really not a big deal, and people many people don't get it even. They just see the review and that's it, and most of the time it is just that. So it's ridiculous to go after my videos. So where will this stop? So banning a video that goes over 12 minutes for a 30-second section where somebody speaks, and it doesn't matter what he says if it's not against the law. If it doesn't violate the law, then he's allowed to say everything he wants. So it's ridiculous to go after that.
Yeah, we would think so, but
and it always ties in some way with whatever you're reviewing.
Yes, it's not a stretch. It ties in, and so what? Really, they should be concerned. I mean, really, people who support YouTube, who work for YouTube or for Google or for Alphabet, they themselves should be concerned. Because I'm not a political channel. This goes too far. You can't to give me a warning and saying, "Oh, we are going to delete all your content." Where does this end? Really?
Yeah, it's scary.
You know, have you noticed, Cub, that, how do we say this politely? The opposition, the far left, seems to be able to say whatever they want with no consequence.
Yes, and this is also a dangerous thing, because, of course, if the one side is silenced, the other side thinks, okay, now there are no laws applying to us at all. We seem to do something right, and they get crazy. If you are all powerful, then you get crazy, like Henry V or whatever here. This Henry who got, or Henry II, or what was his name? This crazy king. No, King George. Yeah. So it's
the madness of King George.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Of course, they are going to become mad, crazy, drunken from power, because everything they do, nobody is allowed to say anything against it, and people could confuse that. These idiots and assholes could confuse that with, oh, probably we are on the right, we are doing something right, we are on the right side, nobody's criticizing us, we are allowed to do everything we want.
It's dangerous politically to do that. You Germans know that very well.
No, it seems like we Germans don't know shit, because we are not allowed to reflect on our history. Because you are not here in Germany, you are not allowed to compare the actual fascism with the fascism from the Third Reich. And they say, if you do that, you are you are saying the Third Reich was harmless. But
that's weird.
It's nothing to do with that. If I compare it to that, what is that? If you say, oh,
That
yeah,
circular logic. It's
yes,
how do you
because
argue
if
with
you
that?
take, they arguing like if you compare this harmless dictatorship we have now with serious one we had 8 years ago, then you are kind of making the serious one harmless or something like that, which is
Sti-
by law forbidden here in Germany, which is a stupid law, by the way.
Stifling free speech is a dangerous first step to tyranny.
Yes, and if it's forbidden to compare tyrannies with each other, why the hell are they teaching it in school? In school in the school anyway. So we are it was taught in schools, but you aren't allowed to compare it.
That's
And
madness.
yeah, and the madness doesn't stop
Sounds
there.
like it's becoming the same way here in the U.S. too.
Yeah, and it's
Starting with the social media, as you know, from the last presidential election. Now, former President Trump said something, said a few things that were so-called controversial, and big tech media couldn't handle it, so now they cut him off. Total
yeah.
censorship.
Yes, and also if you say something like the election was stolen and it was a fraud, which it was, and
Yeah.
it was and everybody could see it, so if somebody says it wasn't a fraud, he is a liar. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, and
And
by the way,
they want to delete all your posts because you say that.
yes, and by the
It's
way, if people are curious why they banned the Incredible Shrinking Man review, in that review I say that YouTube is as part of Google and Alphabet, they are making m- billions, billions of dollar together with some other companies, 10 or 20 big companies are making the big money like Amazon and Google and so on. And all the other ones are going bankrupt. So if you have read any Sherlock Holmes novel or something like that, you follow the money and you say who profits, and this is probably the guy who did it. So I say, yeah, since they are the only ones who are profiting from this scam, they are obviously behind it. And that's the reason why I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they banned the video. And also, it's the reason why they didn't give me a reason this time. Last time they at least said it was because of wrong medical information, which it wasn't. But this time, the reason is other reasons. That's the official reason. They didn't give me even a proper reason why they banned it, deleted it, and give me the warning and shit like that. So I have obviously done something, said something right in that video. I'm pretty sure. And by the way, if people are curious about it, the English version is still on, but if something disappears, you can watch it on Odyssey or BitChute. So you can find also other banned content there, like here the Star Wars video where Greg is also was also a guest, and yeah, and the Quiet Earth one, of course, and all the other ones, the upcoming banned ones, because they are now going through my whole content and give
Oh,
are
are
going
they?
to yes they are going to give me two more strikes and then
Oh
delete
no.
my channels. I can't do anything against it. It's going to happen. And but yeah,
I
so
hope not.
yeah, but so what? At least I have the balls to say something, and all the other channels don't. They're cowards in my eyes, and really, I'm not sure what they are protecting, because maybe they make some money now, but to which cost? Money is going to become worthless in the future.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's practically worthless now.
yes, and they are going to lose everything they have. everything they now try to protect by obeying and not saying anything, they're going to lose anyway. These assholes think that the billionaires are going to let them join their club or what? They are becoming slaves like us. There will be no difference. But whatever.
Well, they'll have more stuff than we do.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed for many of them. Some seem to wake up and see, but I hope it's not too late. And at least I.
Well, try to stay positive. I think things can turn around.
Yes. I'm sure that it will. And but the thing is also the stupid thing with the mask and so on. People, some people that don't get it. I talk sometimes to people who tell me, but why don't you? If they want to vaccinate you, they're going to, and if they want to force you to wear a mask, they're going to. And I tell them, yes, maybe they are, but at least I'd give them a fight. Because
that's understandable.
It's not about that I don't get vaccinated or wear a mask or something like that. It's about I have to watch in my eyes in the mirror, and all the people who are now wearing masks, and sometimes they are waking up and put the mask down. What are they thinking? They will always hate themselves in the future. Maybe not today or maybe not tomorrow, but maybe in a year, something like that. When they recognize that they got abusive victims, that they fall for a scam and didn't fight. So at least, even if I would wear a mask, at least they have to put it with force on my face, and I can still look in the mirror, even with a mask, if I would have to put one on. But I would say to myself, but at least I gave them a fight. It's just about that, not about changing anything.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, as a Texan, of course.
Your honor requires it.
Yes, and as a Texan, of course, you understand that. It seemed like you are the only people in the U.S. who understand that.
We got rid of the mandatory mask rule, and cases are going down. It's almost like the mask caused more cases, which is counterintuitive.
It was already a proven fact. Tony Fauci has his head up his ass.
What was the first thing they said was? Remember, the first thing they said here in America was not to wear masks.
Yeah,
that it was bad.
Your germs,
right? And then they reversed course on that.
And now they're trying to say, you should double and triple mask. That's bullshit.
Yeah, triple mask, triple better, I guess.
Is an exhaust from your lungs. You're exhaling all the toxins that your body creates. I mean, not all, but quite a bit.
I'm not against wearing masks. I'm against mandatory masks.
Yes, but, it's a mandatory thing that I'm against.
But the evidence shows, at least from us not having people forced to wear them and the numbers going down, maybe the masks are counterproductive. I'm just saying, maybe. Why can't that at least be questioned? I don't like it's like global warming.
Exactly.
What I don't like about the global warming thing is that they declare that you can't even discuss it. That's almost like a religion or a cult. Not even a normal religion, but a cult. It's disturbing when you can't question what they're saying.
And they're calling them climate denier, like they're calling them corona denier, like they're calling them.
They use the same tactic.
Holocaust denier. Why denier? Denier is something from the Middle Ages, a religious term. It's a religious term. But if you use if you use a religious term for your arguments, then why the hell should I take you seriously? Because you don't need a religious term like denier.
That's how you're treated too, like a heretic.
Yes. Again, as I said, if you have real facts and arguments, then you don't need that. You don't need to say, if you say Jehovah, then you get stoned or something like that, like in Life of Brian. It's the same thing.
It's disturbing.
Yeah. Yes. And I said something in one of my earlier reviews here in Logan's Run. There's one scene where I say, I talk about the masts and say, if the words pride would be on the mask, if the word pride would be written on the mask, they would get rid of it immediately, these stupid assholes, the people. Because this is the thing that, and I think there are just few people who even understood this joke, supposedly joke. Because it is not a joke. I was serious when I said that. These assholes who still run around with masks, I said, well, if the word pride would be on the mask, they would get immediately rid of it because they don't have any pride, these people.
Now they're trying to attribute the reduction in infectious cases to the vaccines. And they refused to acknowledge that there's any problems, any negative side effects with these vaccines, when in fact, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people have already died from this thing. And there's no guarantee that it's actually going to work. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
the people are dying right and left are getting blood clots and infections, and it's just ridiculous.
Yes, and if the vaccine is really something you really would need, a medical thing, why do they need to force it on the people? Because if there is a real disease, and I'm not a suicider, or I have no suicidal thoughts, I would get it. I would say, okay, there's a real disease out there. I don't want to die. I'm going to get it. So I don't need to be forced on that. And the same goes for the masks. If I think there's a danger and a mask is going to protect me, I would wear it without asking anybody. No, nobody has to tell me that. But
now, so far, yeah, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
So far, the government is not necessarily forcing it on people, at least here. They're leaving that up to employers to do. Some of my friends have already told me that their employers have forced them to make a decision. You either take the vaccine or get fired.
Yeah, so
there's a huge hospital, Methodist hospital here in Houston, that required every one of their employees to take the vaccine. If they don't take it, they would get terminated.
Yeah, so this
that's bullshit.
Yeah, so this is blackmailing. And sorry, I can tell you something. If there would be, even nowadays, if there would be a real disease out there and it would really save my life to get vaccinated, I wouldn't do it just because so many tell me I have to. Because I never do anything if somebody tells me I have to do it. Nobody tells me what I have to do. If you come to me and tell me, here we have a problem and you would be better off if you would do that, but it's on you, I would listen to it. I would say, okay, I think about that. But
well, that's fair.
Yeah, but not this way. No, every time.
You know, I mean, I want to give this vaccine another year at least. Let these crazy people that are getting it, get out there and get this vaccine into their system. Let's see what happens. See if these people can actually overcome these side effects. I mean, there's so many rumors going around that this thing alters your RNA, alters your DNA,
It might give
and
you
does
spider
this, does
powers,
that.
like
I don't
Spider-Man.
believe it. I don't believe it does that, but I do believe that when it does cause drastic side effects like blood clots and other illnesses, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, God willing, this thing turns around and works. And maybe if some of these vaccines don't work, maybe they'll work on something different, like other illnesses. Maybe they can
Yeah.
refine these vaccines to work for different things, like maybe even to treat treat side effects of cancer treatment better or
Yeah, wouldn't
something.
it be great if all this money got poured in and we solved cancer or something out of it?
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't have a serious problem. There is not a pandemic out there. We have seen so many pandemic movies. Sorry, it doesn't look anything like them. When you go out, there is nobody sick. There is nobody dying. The streets are not full of corpses or something like that. Nothing like that. And it has nothing to do with the stupid masks. People say, oh, yeah, it's because of the masks. Yeah, sure. But if there is a disease, at least people have to be ill if they are not immediately dying or something like that. But they aren't. So, no, the hospitals are empty. And as I said, nobody is ill, nobody is dying. So why the hell should I get vaccinated? For what? For what? There's no problem out there.
Well, I mean, I'd have to respectfully disagree on that, but I do think this was not a natural pandemic. I think this thing was actually released intentionally by China. There is proof that this thing started in Houston. Well, not in Houston, but in Galveston.
It did not start in
UTM Medical
Houston.
Branch in
Don't,
Galveston.
don't say that.
And another location, another disease center in North Carolina. And Anthony Fauci was directly related to this thing. This was during the Obama administration.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Obama.
Maybe we should get back to our King Kong review.
Yeah.
What about all our poor subs who were counting on the review? We don't want to make this like the Omega Man, where we never get to it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's listen to GregZilla and let's go into King Kong. So King Kong here in Germany, by the way, it's called the first one from 1932, I think. It's called King Kong and the White Woman. By the way, did you know
Really?
that? Yes.
No, I didn't know that.
It's not called just King Kong here in Germany. Here in Germany, it's called King Kong and the White Woman.
Cool.
Yeah, this is a title, by the way, which is which you will never ever see again on any movie these times.
Even in Germany?
On this whole planet, in this universe, you aren't going to see that because it mentions especially a gender and also a color. So no, these times are over. With King Kong and the White Woman, this title will never appear again on another movie nowadays, or something like that.
Why do you think they labeled it that? Because King Kong normally had native women, and the white woman was more exotic or something?
Maybe. It's here in Germany. They had sometimes they had these titles that went clearly sexual, because
well, that was coming out of the 20s and early 30s before the other problems. So yeah, y'all. I mean, the Germans had a kind of a sexual revolution or awakening or something.
Yeah, but you know these swinging 20s, or what you call it. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and these swinging 20s were also in Berlin, in Germany in general.
They were famous. Berlin was famous as a, I don't know what the word for it, but
Yeah.
more liberal sexual capital. Probably the most, other than maybe Paris, and probably Berlin was more free in that area than Paris was at the time, right?
Yeah, probably. And as I say, back then you didn't have these restrictions. The people were much more direct with the things. So yeah, somebody who wanted to promote the movie or gave it the German title thought, oh, what is the movie about? Oh, it's about a giant ape and a pretty white woman, a blonde white woman whatsoever. And yeah, that's how it got the title.
Cub did a really good review on King Kong just this last week. All the King Kong movies. So if you want to see a really interesting collection or retrospective, call up his King Kong review.
Yeah, it's an old review from 2017, which I updated for because the new one came out. And yeah, I'm a King Kong fan. I also like GodzIlla, but I'm not so much into GodzIlla. I'm really more into King Kong. So I'm really glad to have you both here on because yeah, because I know you are kind of GodzIlla guys, or not?
Oh, definitely. Although Kong is considered an American monster, you know, I think he's more a monster for the whole world.
Yes, Kong is one of the few
He
original.
appears to be more of a good guy than a bad guy.
Well, he's.
I hate to say it, my
human.
distant cousin Zilla appears to be a bad guy.
Well, he started out as a bad guy, but boy, they sure made him into a kid-friendly version through the maybe the late '60s. The first couple 3 movies, Godzilla Rides Again, or I forget the second title, and then King Kong versus Godzilla, the 1962 version. He was definitely the bad guy in those. But after that, he transmorphed into definitely the good guy.
Yeah, Godzilla. The problem with the Godzilla movies, I like the first Godzilla, the one from 1954. But it's with King Kong the same thing. I just like the first one, and all the continuations. We can go briefly over them.
What did you like about the first one?
The first one was a serious monster movie. It wasn't a comedy. It was they took the threat seriously, and also King Kong was not so much humanized in the first one. He was still an animal, and a legitimate threat also.
King Kong from 32 or Godzilla from 54?
Both in there were both serious threats. And the difference, of course, King Kong, he was his environment got invaded from the humans. The ones on the island respected him and thought he's kind of a god or something like that. But the people from outside, they didn't really respect him and just wanted to make money with him and took him from his environment, and which led then to the catastrophe. So with Godzilla, of course, the reason why so many Godzilla continuations were so bad, first off, the Godzilla movie is perfect, the first one, and it's the story is completely told in that. It does.
Well, it was told by people who had been through, you know, an atomic bombing, but not just the atomic bombs. The firebombing of Tokyo I know just in one night killed like 100,000 people. It was a war crime in my opinion. What Britain and America did,
Yeah.
especially in the late stages of the war. I understand why we did it, but I can't defend. I can't defend it. And maybe as a German, you kind of identify partially with what the Japanese had went through.
Yes, because here in Germany, we had also some unnecessary
Dresden
massacres.
and yeah,
Yeah, like Dresden, here Slaughterhouse 5. The book is about that, by the way.
yeah,
And
that's important.
the thing is, this first Godzilla movie, it's really yes, people maybe like see it as a monster movie, but in fact it is not. It is not. It is really more about the people than about Godzilla. The criticism which we have with all the other Godzilla movies, where you say, "Oh, we don't want the stupid people; we want the monster fighting." But in this one, it is really about the people. And
I think I disagree. It's about the people and the monster. It was the best combination. You had a good story of the people, and the monster was interesting too, especially being something totally new almost,
yeah,
as it represented the atomic genie being let out of the bottle. Also, the terrible trauma that the Japanese people went through. Of course, they inflicted a lot of trauma on other people. I'm not dismissing what they did or what the
yeah,
Germans
yeah.
did, but what happened to them was way out of proportion to what should have happened. At any rate, how can you go through something like that without having it affect the zeitgeist of you as a people? So, yeah.
Yes, let me ask Basil. What did he like about the first Godzilla movie?
I like the aggressiveness of Kong, but yet his compassion for for the proverbial white woman. He
He's
could have
talking.
easily crushed her. Yeah,
He's
go ahead.
talking Godzilla, not Kong. Although that's interesting.
Oh well, slap
The
your foot here. Yeah.
1954 Japanese, or do you mean the 1956 one with Raymond Burr?
No, I mean the original one, of course.
The original one. Yeah, Zilla was always a badass, even in the, especially when it first cranked up. Um, sort of a mysterious, creature, but nonetheless a great ass kicker. He's rather funny too. I mean, he could, happy and pounds his chest when he kicks some ass. I like the screech is awesome.
Yes,
The
yes,
great
the
screech
screech.
of Godzilla.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I think the first Godzilla movie differentiates from all the other ones. As I said, I think the first one is really about the people, and Godzilla is a threat, and it's really what is happening, and the stories with the people, the normal humans. The stories, what happens to them is touching, and also the scientists here who makes this bomb, this hydrogen bomb, how they get
The oxygen destroyer.
the oxygen destroyer and so on. I thought these in the other ones, these scenes are all the human scenes are kind of what you call it. I can't take them seriously. Really, they are really more annoying or for laughs or whatever. But in this first one, it's really like you feel what is happening. You see the people.
Well,
The
you remember the scene of the woman and her child, and they're about to be crushed by Godzilla, and she's telling him we'll be with your father soon. I mean, that was compelling.
Yes, and also in the first one, they used to show the destruction. They used also fire, which burnt down the buildings, normal buildings where people were living, small houses and things like that, which had a realistic tone, which I took much more serious than later when Godzilla destroys these big buildings.
I think that was a callback to the firestorms caused by our bombings. Not necessarily even the atomic too, but the firestorms in Dresden and other Hamburg and German cities also happened in Tokyo and yeah, to me it just that's what it seemed to reflect.
Yeah, and here I think your brother is also here, the High Ground Cantina. He mentions that Godzilla is supposed to be a force of nature, which I just partially agree on, because when you see look at the history of Japan, and yeah, the atomic bomb was not a force of nature, but still people were like with a force of nature, like a storm or whatever, that this time a firestorm, atomic storm, where couldn't defend themselves against it. So yes and no. This force of nature is not really. I don't see it that way. I see it really more like something which should not exist. Godzilla shouldn't exist in this first movie. It's something people should never face, a force that they should never face.
But it's a primal force, unstoppable force, almost like being in the path of a hurricane or a tornado. I don't know if you've ever been in the path of something like that, but yeah, it does give you that feeling of helplessness. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
as I say, I see where he comes from, and I've seen this argumentation very often. It is also true. I don't say it's not true, but I just don't see it like that. I personally thought the whole time in the first movie that also the scientist, the role of the scientist, he also kind of uh, he says something that this is not really a innate force of nature or something like that. Godzilla, he himself has to do with atomic power or not.
Yeah, he represents the atomic age. And also remember when this came out, we were just 10 years into the Cold War, and the threat of nuclear destruction hung over the entire world.
Yeah, but is Godzilla in the first movie, he's not created by nature? Or is he?
He's created by nature, but he's augmented by atomic testing.
Yes, so
originally, he's not created by the atomic bomb. He's a primal creature from the depths of time, but he's been awakened and energized or enhanced by nuclear radiation.
Yes, so the human had a part on this destruction by making atomic experiments whatsoever, and so he was part of it. So that's
remember
why
the part of what made them do the movie or was part of the movie was they had those tests that went a little larger than they expected. I would think it was an H bomb or something on one of the atolls, maybe Bikini, and we the Japanese had a fishing boat that got badly radiated, and that was a harken back to their nuclear nightmare of being atom bombed, and they, according to sources, that had an impact on the people who made the Godzilla movie.
Yes, and
Because
there's
you
also
remember they had the scene of the people in the boat who were, affected by the radiation, I guess from Godzilla, right? I think that was to reflect. I can't remember the name of the vessel, but it got too close to the atomic test.
yes, yes. I see it the same way, and I would like just to finish that. I would like to mention the director of the first Godzilla movie, Inoshiro Honda, and he made many Godzilla movies, by the way. Not just this one, and also other monster movies. And he was a student of my favorite director, of Akira Kurosawa, and I think it kind of shows with his movies. Because I even saw one of his movies in the cinema, and I liked it. It was also a monster movie, but there was no Godzilla, and it was really one of his very late, last movies, kind of. And it was the one where they were on this island, and there were these three monsters. One of them was a big kraken that really looked silly, and there was not a turtle or something that looked like a turtle, and I think what's I don't know the English name. This animal with a crab. Yes, a crab. Well, I think these three, but super big. If maybe you can remember that.
I do remember a giant crab.
Yes, a giant crab and a giant octopus and a giant looked like a turtle with spikes or something like that. I think.
Like Gamera?
Maybe.
Gamera was the turtle monster.
Yeah, maybe maybe it was something like Gamera, because I didn't recognize any monster. I just recognized the animals, but back then, but as I was a little child, I was 8 or something like that. So it's really one of my very, very first movies I watched in the cinema. But it was great to see as a child as a monster movie back then. That was the biggest, coolest thing on the planet, I can tell you.
It was cool. I remember the ones where they tried to appeal to kids by bringing in the young Japanese kids and making them a big part of the Godzilla show. When I was that age, I didn't want to see a bunch of other kids on the screen. I wanted to see Godzilla, and more of a. I even at that age, I preferred the more serious Godzilla movies than I did. Something supposedly aimed at me. It was a miss. I think they missed their mark. I don't think it was actually really appealing to the kids like they thought it was.
Yes,
because the other kids were just irritating.
Yeah, because here, by the way, Jess is here. Hi, Jess. And he says it was Angurius. Angurius, the spiky one. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Oh, right. He had the spiky tail, right? But he wasn't a turtle. The turtle one was Gamera, right?
Yeah, but for me, they all
look like turtles.
Hey, as a kid, it looked like a turtle with spikes. It's 40 years ago when I saw that. So really, I have to rewatch it. I'm pretty sure it holds up pretty well.
You didn't rewatch it before the stream? That was your duty. You always, obsessively rewatch everything. You were stuck watching the Boggy Creek thing for my stream, though, weren't you?
Yeah, sadly, I had to watch this Boogie Creek.
And he watched all of them.
Yeah, but thanks God I couldn't get my hands on the last two on these new
Right.
ones. I've heard they are horrible, something like that.
Hey, Jazz, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, and yeah, Jess is probably right because, as I said, everybody else is
Oh, he's definitely right.
more expert on
But you said it was the turtle one, and that's not the turtle one. You're right. You're right. The turtle doesn't have the spike. You're thinking of the one with the spike.
Yeah, as I said, I'm from on the King Kong, what you call it. I'm from the King Kong front. King Kong is a little bit where I know something about, and from Godzilla, I'm just a fan, but I'm not an expert in any and all these other movies. I'm not an expert, and the reason for that, by the way, is not that I didn't like them. The reason is I came so late to the party because I saw as a little child one monster movie and it was great, but that's it. I never had the chance as a kid to watch another one. Never, ever.
Wow, really?
Just on TV. But just if I had luck and I could trick my parents because they hated this shit. And you know that as a kid you have to watch what your parents watch, and if they were
Oh my God, yeah, I
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, and if they watch boring shit, you have
They
to.
watched boring
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
Barnaby Jones and stuff like that. It was terrible.
Yeah. So when I had the chance finally to see them, these monster movies, I was really just too old. I was already 20 or something like that. And with
That's
20, of
not too
course,
old for monster movies.
yes, it is because my priorities changed. Because till then I wanted to watch them as a kid, but with this age, my priorities were, of course, women and not stupid monster movies.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah, that's the reason. So I'm not this huge expert on these things, but no, no
I
problem.
always found there was plenty of time for both. When you're hanging out with your buddies, you watch the monster movies, and then you had your other time when you're with the girls.
Yeah. So let's go briefly over the other King Kong movies. It will go really fast because there are not so many of them. I think 12, and I
Okay,
think
the next one's the 1970s version, right?
no, the
Unless
next
you're
one.
talking about.
No, the next one is of course the same year, Son of Godzilla.
Oh yeah, Son of Kong, you mean?
Son of Kong. Yes, thanks, Greg. Yes, Son of Kong. Did anybody see that one besides
I
me?
did see it. I did see it, and they had some of the same actors, and it
Yeah.
was a quick and dirty cash grab, I would call it.
Yes, yes. Basil, did you see that too?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, what? You didn't
I
see
hate
the
to say it.
Son of
I
Kong?
told him to watch it. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's such an important movie. Or what do you say, Greg?
I agree. I will
Greg,
make it. I will make a note to watch that quickly.
Greg, what do you think? It's really an important movie or not? It's a
Not
must
really.
watch.
It was forgettable.
Oh, it's
It
also
is kind of
boring.
cool. It's kind of cool to see some of the same people that you're really never going to see again in anything else in a similar movie, even though not a good movie. It's almost like deleted or almost like deleted scenes from King Kong that weren't used in the movie or alternate version or something.
Yes, and also it with this one it goes complete opposite with normally, which it goes normally with these monster movies, uh, uh, or with movies in general. I mean, because I just can watch it by watching the effects from Harryhausen. I think from Harryhausen or from like Harryhausen effects. I'm not sure if Harryhausen also did these effects, but they looked like these stop motion animations and so on.
Gamera
And
was never in a Godzilla movie. I thought he was. I
and
guess he wasn't. No,
and
go ahead, Cub. I was distracted.
and the effects were great in Son of King Kong. But the story was so boring, and it was a children's movie. So
But the
nothing.
story's always boring. You can throw out the story on a lot of monster movies if the effects are great. I mean, what do you want? You want a great story or a decent story like The Claw with the worst effects you ever saw?
Yeah, but the
You know,
monsters couldn't do shit because it was a children's movie. The fights weren't so exciting because they couldn't really hurt each other so badly, or hurt the people or something like that.
well, not
Because
just that. Isn't that right when the new Motion Picture Academy censorship thing had kicked in 33?
no, it was still
I forget what they call it, but I think it kicked in right
Heinz.
after King
I
Kong,
think the Heinz
and I
code,
think it affected the second movie.
the Heinz code or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe Basil would know. Do you know what that code was called?
Do not.
I bet Jez does. Brent would definitely know, but I don't see Brent. In 1931, he says something happened in 31.
Oh, okay.
Is when the code came in. He's just calling it the code, so that's what I did.
Yeah, but I think it was not 31. I think it was a little bit later because King Kong was the last one that were kind of
Right, and that was 32, right?
yes, that
I'm
was
thinking
32.
it was 33.
And no, yes, it was 32. But when it got re-released in 38, the code was already in place, and
No, I mean, I
where
think
the
the
cut
code came in 33 or 34, right after King Kong.
Yes, I
And
think
I
so.
think that's part of why you were complaining about it being a kids movie. I think the code affected it. I think it made them make it less violent.
Yeah, the Son of King Kong was intended aimed to children directly. As you said, it's just a cash grab. They just wanted to make a quick buck and made directly.
But if the code had just came in, they might have been forced to make it for children.
Yes, probably, maybe, but well, who knows?
Well, I'm just saying it was a factor.
Yep. So the next one time King Kong
Mighty
appears.
Joe Young, does that count?
Yes, that's true.
It's not an actual Kong movie. I mean, he's Joe Young.
Yeah, but it is from the same people who made the King Kong movie.
It's the same people, and it should be included. But I wanted to test you and see if you passed. You passed.
Yes, and this one.
I was going to fail you for sure, though.
This one is really with effects from Harryhausen, and now I can remember my own review where I say these are early effects from Harryhausen. So one of the first movies where he made the effects, and yes, got an Oscar for them, even deservedly. It looks great, but it was a bomb. It was this was the first time where they had a flop. But
okay, Jez says the Association of Motion Picture Producers Code, guess that's the official name, came in 1931. Go ahead with your thought.
Yes, okay. If Jez says that, then it's true. So as I said, this was a bomb, and it was a family movie, and I liked the story. I didn't mind it. It's not one of my favorite movies, but I thought it was an interesting idea. Much better than Son of King Kong. That was garbage. But this one was kind of a grounded version of King Kong, where King Kong was not so ridiculously big, where people could believe that a huge ape could exist. And yeah, I kind of liked the story, and also the effects were great. What did you think, Greg?
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Yeah, basically,
you had the good effects is what impressed me. Often you can throw out the story, but this had a decent story and decent effect. Given in for the time period.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, special effects in any movie are always the most, or well, not the most important, but also very important.
Well, I think King Kong was the first movie to really,
especially in the Kong movies. The Kong and Zilla movies have always been, good special effects.
Yes, yes.
For the time period.
Yeah, these movies, they also pushed the special effects, kind of like Terminator 2, where they really had to come up with some groundbreaking stuff, which really impressed the people. I'm sure that they have never seen anything like this before, and yeah, with Mighty Joe Young, it was also they tried it this time more realistically, and it looks also like that. I'm still impressed when I see this movie, even if it is a family picture. But I like the old one. So yeah, it's also got it got an remake. Did you see that also, Greg? Basil?
Basil hadn't seen that one yet.
Did you see also the remake from Mighty Joe Young, the one with Charlize Theron?
No. I need to see it.
It's from 1998, I think, and it was also a bomb, like like the first one, and yeah. Yeah, the story is it's okay. It's not bad. It has kind of the same story, but the effects were again groundbreaking. It had best effects to this date.
Right.
They were so realistic, the ape and so on. It was looked so realistic that I really was back then. I really was thinking, how did they do that? It looked so real, this ape, but it bombed. It made it flopped at the box office. It was again a family picture, so it's one of these cases where you have even where the original bombs and the remake bombs. So you kind of ask yourself, why are they keep doing with these movies?
They keep thinking they're going to make money on it, just like some of these other crazy movies, like the Halloween movies and the Freddy movies, Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Freddy at least makes money.
All about money. All about money.
Yeah. So yeah, and now we come to the big one. King Kong versus Godzilla, 1962, I think.
was 62.
Yeah, King Kong versus Godzilla. So I'm pretty sure you have the movie fresh in your mind, Greg, or not?
Oh, I definitely do.
Yeah, tell us everything about King Kong versus Godzilla. What is this movie about?
Well, originally it was supposed to be King Kong versus Frankenstein. And I think it was Harryhausen. Definitely, he wanted to use a stop motion, and he got with who was it who stole the idea from him and took it over to Toho in Japan, and it got swapped around with GredZilla versus King Kong. But that's how you end up with Kong having electric powers, which certainly hadn't been in any movies before that.
Mhm.
Basically, Kong is brought from his island part of a publicity campaign by a Japanese pharmaceutical firm, and they want to get these giant berries. And you see Kong getting wasted off of berry juice, and he passes out. That's how he ends up, I guess, getting kidnapped and taken to Japan. Of course, the Japanese army decide that they don't need, they can't deliver Kong, and they try to stop it by destroying the vessel, but he
Yeah, a
it doesn't.
pharmaceutical company is the one responsible for actually capturing Kong. He
That's
was
right.
apparently awakened by an American submarine somehow.
Well, that was Godzilla who got uh, awakened by the American submarine. But Kong was they had a comic character, the head of the publicity department, a Japanese fellow with glasses, and he was a famous person in Japan for his Charlie Chaplin like escapade. At any rate, Kong and Godzilla end up fighting, and mayhem ensues.
Yes, and for that one, they also had to make Kong bigger than normally because
That's correct. They
back
brought him up
even,
almost to Godzilla's height.
yeah, he's fighting against. He makes fist fight with Godzilla, which is really funny, I think.
I think they brought him up from
Kong's a
like
pretty cool
15
character.
meters
Pretty
to
cool,
45
though.
meters.
I hate, Is a distant cousin to the great dragon Godzilla.
Well, they had
have to say that Kong was a pretty cool creature. He
Yeah, and
really was.
who
they had a
was
terrible Kong suit in that movie, and part of the reason was because the owners of the rights to Kong made part of the agreement for his use was that they couldn't use the face, the original face of King Kong. They had to come up with a totally different face. So they based it on, I think, an orangutan or something, or
yeah,
some weird creature.
yeah,
That's the reason.
a total stupid face. I would just want to go into that. That was the most. That was the reason why I first thought this is kind of a joke. It's satire. It can't be taken seriously because he looked so stupid constantly, and also Godzilla. In this one, as I said, he was same height like Kong, which didn't make any sense. It looked like he was fighting a T-Rex or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they made Kong taller. I think they increased him from 15 meters to 45 meters.
Yeah,
Only for that movie, though.
yeah, it would really make much more sense if it they would have stick with the Frankenstein idea. But Frankenstein also they back then always confused Frankenstein with a monster because of course Frankenstein is the scientist. They mean the monster, Frankenstein's monster. Which
Frankenstein was he was the scientist who was responsible for creating the original monster, and he actually dug up a corpse and replaced the brain with an abnormal brain, which is what caused the
Abnormal.
strange, as they call it, abnormal. The
yes,
odd effects of
In
the
Young
corpse
Frankenstein.
when it came to
yeah,
life.
Yes, he wanted to use a normal brain, but then he used a brain from a Democrat, and that caused all and, and and that was
And
messed up.
thus, after many years of having
Yeah,
children, thus we find that
yeah,
Sleepy Joe Biden is a descendant of the
yeah.
original creature.
Yes. He couldn't find
Isn't
another
that
brain.
interesting?
Yeah, had to use one of from a Democrat. So yeah, that was a tragedy.
And
It
100
is
now
a
we know what the
tragedy.
problem is with Sleepy Grandpa Joe.
Now we know.
Yes, and but who won the fight? Who was the winner when King Kong
Oh,
first
Kong
time?
versus Godzilla. Well,
Yeah.
there was a great battle, and they both fell into the sea, and then Kong swam off. So a lot of people assume that Kong won, but Godzilla, he could have been swimming off underwater. So it was
Yeah.
kind of a draw, but most people gave
Yeah,
the
I'd say it's
W
more
to
of a
Kong.
draw as opposed to a victory for Kong.
Although
Supposedly.
Kong was, he got flamed and beat up quite a bit. So I don't know that you could really give him the win. But he held his own against Godzilla and then knocked him into the sea. And
Yep.
I mean, I guess everybody thought Godzilla drowned, although that's kind of crazy because he always goes into the sea after a
Hmm.
movie, usually
Yeah.
underwater to hide. That's where he recuperates.
Yeah, but maybe he forgot how to breathe underwater.
Maybe it's a different Godzilla. Maybe they've all been different Godzillas. How do we know
Yeah.
this isn't just a string of? Because if you look at them, they're not really the same suit. They're not really the
Well,
same creature.
Basil's a pretty good swimmer too.
That's
Basil's
true.
swam
Basil is a
underwater
good
many,
swimmer.
many times in these
Yeah.
optic battles.
Although Q is not such a good swimmer, if I
The
remember
great
from
Basil has
Cancun.
had.
Hey, thinking to the ground doesn't mean you are a good swimmer. Okay.
Well, if you can breathe underwater, it's easy to be a good swimmer, right?
Yeah.
Pretty
So
much so. You got to have the moves.
we have memes here. Hi memes. Nice you could make it. So King Kong returns a year later. I think.
Only a year
Yeah,
in
a year.
'63.
I
King
think.
Kong does.
Yes, King Kong returns and has to fight himself. I think it's what's the movie's called in the English version. I don't know.
Is that the War of the Gargantuas you're talking about?
No, King Kong
That's
has
not.
to fight himself and another ape, and it turns out that this is a mechanical ape.
Oh God, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it was
right.
kind of. It was a direct continuation from King Kong versus Godzilla. The next one, King Kong had to fight this gigantic robot ape, and
That's
interesting.
right. The robot had to do like what they used him to dig something. He was a digging machine basically.
Yeah, I
And
guess
and when he broke down, they got Kong to do the digging. I forget what they were digging for. Something unobtainium probably.
no Croatoan. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, but interesting is who created this robot, because it is a scientist called Doctor Who.
that's right.
Yes.
A snappily
So
dressed Doctor Who too.
yeah, and we always thought the Doctor is a good guy. Uh, but in fact, he's a mad scientist and creates big robot apes,
Well, we
robots.
should have known he was male.
Yeah. He's really a toxic white
A
male. No,
toxic male. All of them, unless they're female, are bad.
yeah. It was really about time to change that.
Yeah, right.
Thanks God, they changed changed this this thing a few years ago. And the series, I think, is more successful than ever since they changed that, or not?
I think not.
They solved all the problems with it. Yeah, and so the next King Kong is the one that most people know, I think, and it was also the first one I saw, my first King Kong movie.
Oh,
The
really?
one,
76?
yes, the one from '76. So, Greg, did you see also the TV version from that one?
I'm sure I did.
Yes,
I'm trying to.
probably because you are you are living there where they showed it on TV.
Right.
So
So, what was the difference on the TV version?
they just edit stuff from the editing floor. Just here the things that they edited out for the paste of the movie that it flows, they edited in for the TV version.
Well, if you remember, it was a evil oil company that wanted to get the King Kong off the island this time, probably so
Yes,
they could drill for oil.
yes, and the astonishing thing with King Kong 76, I think it was 1976, is the fact that the story makes so much sense. I was really uh, astonished about that. I thought, oh my God, this makes total sense. Yes, there is an oil company that searches for oil, and they confused the breath of the big animals here from the island, or they confused that with the with something gas or something like that, which would come to the surface if there would be oil under beneath. That was
Right.
kind of the explanation, which kind of makes sense, or don't you think so?
I could see it happening that way.
Yes, yes. So they had really a reason to be there. And this blonde woman here, this is starlet whatsoever, which they meet on the journey, that was just a coincidence because she had an accident here, a boat accident, and all the others drowned or have no clue. But she was there in safety boat or something like that, and they discovered her on the water.
Yeah, correct.
So
It's
yeah,
it's interesting how she's able to communicate so easily with Colin too.
yeah. When
Seemingly unintelligent ape-like creature, and yet uh,
Well,
has
she did
affection.
the little dance and stuff for him.
well, what that wasn't was
Hmm.
in the 2005 version, the dance. I'm pretty sure. I'm not so sure if was that also in the 76 version.
Maybe not.
In
It's been a
reality,
long
I don't
time since
think
I saw it.
Kong was really as bad or as an evil creature as he was
She
made
did
out to be.
communicate with him.
Something eventually went wrong that really pissed him off, and he took his anger out and animosity out on the
So you like the
humans.
76 version? I think it was my least
Yeah,
favorite.
Yeah, I also I
Maybe
really like.
because it had such a gritty 70s feel to it, such a
uh,
depressing tone. You know, when the helicopters came, it's just like they murdered him. It wasn't like when he was fighting the biplanes in 32. You felt like he had a chance, like the biplanes just barely beat him. when the helicopter showed up, they just murdered him. It felt like he had zero chance.
Yeah, they just
It,
butchered
it
him.
just it
Yeah.
yeah, it
Poor
represented
thing. I mean,
the
he was just
decade,
they kept shooting him with missile after missiles and
and they just murdered him with those
cannon
guns.
shells,
It
and
just
just
felt
never let
wrong.
up
I
on him.
don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it
It
was
was
Uh,
not the
too
one where he
human.
was on top of the Empire State Building.
That is the one, the only one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, I would really
Oh,
like to go a little bit more into the story of the 70s one. So
okay, do it.
they went there, the oil company went there and discovered the oil is there, like they thought that it would be, but it's not old enough. You can't use it. The oil that they found was kind of like fresh oil or something like that, that is
Right,
not ready to use, which kind of also
sour crude.
it makes sense because they went after the theory because how oil really where oil comes from is just the theory, and back
That's
then
true.
in the 70s they had the theory, and it was a popular theory, that oil comes from
Dinosaurs.
yeah, no, not dinosaurs, from living tissue in general, animals, and
I know
also
what you're
Plants.
saying.
plants and things.
Creatures and human bones and things like this as it decays and into the earth and becomes
Yeah,
oil-like substance.
yes, and they had
And
this
that is not
theory.
nothing further from the truth than that.
Yes, okay. No, Basil, I agree with you 100% on that. But we have to really go after the logic they used in the movie and also the science at that time. So at that time, they used correct science because that was what they thought. That was their theory where they went with. So I'm cool with that. For me, this is not a movie mistake or something like that. So, and after this theory, it makes sense that if oil would work that way, that it of course needs time to become oil, and if you don't give it enough time, millions of years whatsoever, it doesn't become oil. So when they went there, they discovered it is not ready yet. You need another 10,000 years or million years or whatever, so you can't use it. And so kind of it was this whole mission was kind of a failure to this point for the guy who wanted to do the mission. This captain here, this from the company, he was not the head of the company. He was just, I think he was just one of the heads or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so
And if you remember, I think I don't know if you remember the Exxon campaign where they said put a tiger in your tank. And they had a Tony the Tiger type. Right, and so I think they kind of took off on that with the King Kong, like put Kong in your tank or something, and they decided to use that as a marketing ploy.
Yes, and these are all things I really like because they make total sense in this time. From the point of view of the 70s, this was really a time where you could see that the company would do some stupid shit like that.
No, remember at that time they didn't believe in global warming. They believed that a coming ice age was about to happen, which fits in with the cyclical nature of the Earth. You know, we've had many ice ages just a few hundred years ago, and according to most scientific theory at the time, that was going to happen again. But of course, we've gotten so much smarter now. We realize that the Earth's temperature never varies more than like 1 degree, and if it goes up very slightly, then it's it's totally man's fault.
Yes, of course, and but not man in general.
It's not just
The
normal
white, no,
Well,
the white,
cycles.
no, it's the fault of the white man in
Oh, of course. Oh my God, you're right.
yeah, with their privilege and supremacists and so on. It's their fault.
Yeah. Well, we're so much smarter now.
So hey, wait a second. So it's your fault, Greg.
You don't know what color I am. You're assuming again. Always assuming. I don't know what
wait,
color you are. Who knows
wait a
the, you know, and Basil, he's a green dragon.
Hey, but Greg, we are not the bad guys in this story. We just lure the people in by pretending that we fight against each other. But the bad guy is, of course, Basil.
Of course, it's always.
Yeah, so
He is the bad guy.
so he is the white supremacist, I guess.
Yeah, probably. That is so wrong.
Yes, and he wants to beat us with his privilege. I'm pretty sure.
It's just a peaceful dragon trying to do his best to get some noodles.
Yeah, so
never enough.
so so King Kong, of course, here the island inhabitants they take the white woman and give it to Kong, and Kong gets she got freed, and Kong gets captured by this oil company, and they take Kong and the woman back to Manhattan, where
Yeah, you can't keep saying white woman.
yeah, it's
That is
because as I
so
said,
wrong.
no,
It's totally
sorry.
accurate, but not allowed.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is,
So
as I
what was
said,
the name of the movie in Germany in
Yeah.
'76? Did they say white woman again?
No, of course.
Did they say
didn't.
black woman, or did they just say woman, or
No,
they not
no,
even
no.
mention her?
It's just called King Kong,
Wow.
and it's
It's the exact same name as the English version? Is that the only time that's ever happened?
Yes, and I was totally surprised about that. I called them back then and told them this is confusing. There is no alien and no killer in the name.
And how do you know what color or race the woman is?
Yes. Yeah, I wrote them letters back then, and because I was completely confused.
Right.
Yeah, and
Those letters are sitting there unopened to this day.
Yeah, if
You
they
got to
use
put postage on it, Cub.
Yeah, and I asked them, if you have to use the English title, why don't you make another English title up as you usually do? Yeah,
That is shocking.
yeah, it is.
Okay,
Really,
we made it all the way to 76. That's amazing. You said it would be really fast, and you were right.
Yeah, no, but I just want to go first off, just mentioning the building Kong is fighting on, as in the 76 version, is the World Trade Center.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I had forgotten.
Yes, and it has a reason. It is also established why he chooses this building and not the Empire State Building or some other building, because was established in the movie that he was living in an environment where he had some two huge mountains, not huge mountains, rocks. Oh, something for Brent. Hey, I hope Brent hears that. There are rocks in this movie. You will like that as a Star Wars fan. So
He would. I haven't seen him in a while, though. We may have lost Brent.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the rocks were called by name, but we can give.
I think we call him Geo.
Yes, probably there were twins. So two Geos, Brent. So that was established, and that reminded him when he saw the Empire State, the World Trade Center 1 and 2. He was reminded about that, and he went there. And so again, it made sense. This is really this is what I like most on this movie. because I also want to go a little bit into the weaknesses of the movie, because there were some, and we can briefly go over them. But so he goes to the World Trade Center, and of course the big difference, the woman this time is uh, she likes Kong, and she doesn't want him to get hurt, and they kind of befriend each other, which back then I thought was okay. It was a change from the original. They went just they didn't do the same thing. Gave the woman gave her more character and things like that, and I was cool with that. I didn't thought, oh my god. I thought, okay, it's a nice idea, and then Kong gets brutally murdered at the end from the helicopters, which was horrible.
It was. It gave it a bad taste.
Yeah, that was totally crazy.
Yeah, but
Wrong, really wrong.
it completely fits with the with kind of
With the 70s, yeah.
the theme, because
It
yes,
fits with that whole decade.
yeah, and really, it's just he has nothing. Kong doesn't fit in here in the human here in the human world. He's just something that doesn't fit there at all. He's a relic from past times, and he just can survive on his island. He normal.
They should never have taken him out of his
Yes,
area.
and yeah. So these are all.
It was the hubris of the time.
These were for me personally all positives from the movie. The only complaint I have, of course, are the effects. Because back then, okay, they were good for back then, but they weren't the ones that they wanted to use in the movie. They were a compromise. The guy in the suit was not planned from the get-go. They wanted to really use they had to build a robotic Kong, and
Really?
yes, but it didn't work. They
Like
spent
the mechanical shark?
yeah, something like that. It was a situation like that, and so they spent much money on that and for nothing. And then I think Dan O'Bannon himself went into the suit. If my informations are correct on this one.
Who went into the suit?
Think Dan O'Bannon here, the guy who made the special effects.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
Yes, this is. I have this kind of information. Maybe Jess can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I think so.
Maybe.
And so it was a kind of compromise, and I knew that when I rewatched the movie again, and I knew that, and so I'm kind of forgiving on the effects because they don't look that great nowadays. But if you know, they were so ambitious with this movie. They tried to do. They didn't just want to make a cheap infusion or rehash or whatever. They really tried to tell, to differentiate the story in a way that it makes sense and fits in the fits in the time that it's playing out, and also try to stay kind of faithful to the original. But I like the ambition with this movie. This is really that's why I'm so forgiving for many other things there. And yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah. So
that comes up to your favorite version of King Kong from Peter Jackson's 2005, right?
Yeah, that was really biggest letdown. One of the biggest letdowns I have ever had with a director.
Well, let's see what Basil has to say. Do you remember the 2005 King Kong, Basil?
Slightly.
What did you think
Yeah.
of it?
It was okay. I mean, it was. I like the modern version. I mean, even though that well, when Kong was in New York when he got
They
butchered by
went
the
back to the
helicopter, but you
30s for
put
it.
a good fight.
Yeah,
Uh,
But
just to give a speed, what's the movie about? Where is the difference between this new one from Peter Jackson and the two old ones, the 70s and the 30s one? The Peter Jackson one is kind of a remake of the 30s one, but
yes.
includes the storyline also from the 70s one, like when the woman gets attracted to Kong or starts to become
And she's the
friend.
one who does the little routine for him.
What the little yes
The
little
vaudeville type act or whatever you'd call it with the.
yeah
she
yes
was going to be a sacrifice to the. They considered him to be like a god. They were going to. The Africans were going to sacrifice her to him.
yeah. And by the way, hi Moomin and hi VN.
And that's why she ended up being tied between the two posts.
Nice
Remember
you could
that?
Hi, Moomin
make it.
and
Nice you could
VN.
make it. And yes, Basil, this new Peter Jackson one is a little bit problematic for me because I can tell you I hate that movie. I hate it straight up. And probably the biggest Peter Jackson fan ever. So for me, it hurts me when I think about this movie. It
Well, the
hurts me.
special effects don't hold up, but I remember at the time I saw it, I liked going back to the 30s. It may be because the 70s one had kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Uh, I enjoyed.
Well, the 70s was more like the hippie generation. It never was worth a shit. I mean, everything
Yes,
about the 70s sucked.
yes. By the way,
including the movies.
Basil,
Yeah, the whole decade was a letdown,
yeah.
other than just a few movies. So
Yeah.
Jess is mentioning that we have left out one King Kong movie. The sequel to the 70s one came in the 80s, and
the one where he got the heart transplant.
yeah, it was called King Kong Lives, and
That's right.
And in this one, he survived the fall from the World Trade Center, and he gets a heart transplant, a artificial heart, and he gets a blood donation from another Kong, from Lady Kong, or a female Kong, which they
Right.
find, kind of. And so they are together and get baby Kong, little Kong. Yeah. So, and the thing why we forgot about it altogether is it's forgettable.
I forgot. I jumped ahead because I didn't think it was very good.
Yeah, and also Linda Hamilton was in it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess I blocked it out of my mind because it was too painful.
Yeah, and it's from the same director, like the 70s one. It's really crazy. You would never have thought
Was
that.
that Dino De Laurentiis or who was
No, Dino
that?
De Laurentiis was the producer. The director, what's his name?
I clearly I don't remember.
Yeah, I also forgot. But it's the same. Cub's Corner, the incredible shrinking man made me feel uncomfortable. What a poor dude. And Midget was ridiculous. Yes, Moomin. I agree on that. It's really uncomfortable. The story, but I like it because of that. The incredible shrinking man story, especially the original story here from the book. So this King Kong Lives. Yeah, it looks cheap. The story nonsensical. There's nothing to it, to this movie. It's just a cheap cash grab, and it flopped also, bombed at the box office anyway. And yeah, let's forget about
But
it.
it had
Okay.
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure even she has forgotten about it.
Probably.
Well, it's still Citizen Kane compared to Terminator 6, or this last one, Dark Woke Fate or something like that. So yeah, so let's continue with 2005, the Peter Jackson one. So in Peter Jackson one, we had a remake of the old one, the 30s one, and it plays out in the 30s for no reason. And also it has this storyline from the 70s where the woman gets attracted to Kong and wants to save him in the end. So, okay, Greg, what did you think about it? You kind of liked it, I think?
Yeah, the CGI wasn't that great, but I think the part on the island was the best for me. When they're battling their way across the island, and Kong is like moving the log and making them fall, and the creatures that stampede across the valley on the bottom. I liked the part at the island.
Okay. So where to start here? First off, the casting. We have here Jack Black and the action pianist Adrian Brody, the two main leads.
Because most of the original movie, the island parts got cut. At least by the time I had seen them. So
yes, and
seeing all the creatures and the action, the CGI wasn't great at the time. It was cutting edge, but some of it looked really good and some of it wasn't. But if they hadn't, I think taking them off of the island was a mistake. They should have not gone with a exact remake. They should have done something different.
yeah, so
Because that would have given it. They were so bound by staying with that exact story, and we had seen that story in 32. We've seen the same story in 76, and now they're giving us the exact same story again. That's not good,
yeah, my complaints, as I said, my first complaint and the biggest one, it's the biggest one. My first complaint is the casting. Jack Black is horrible in every scene. He is not a believable captain. He in this one, he's a filmmaker, like in the first one. The guy in the first one, they also wanted to make a movie, I think. And so, but he's horrible in this role.
Yeah, he's a filmmaker, like in the first one.
Yeah,
But yeah, he wasn't believable. I kind of just put that out of my mind.
Yeah, he was just awful, and he tried to be kind of even like a Charlie Chaplin or something like that when he casted the woman for his movie. It reminded me a little bit of a scene from Charlie Chaplin movie where she sat there and is this poor girl that hasn't not enough money to get something to eat, and it looked a little bit, reminded me a little bit of that, this scenes. So I know what Peter Jackson, where he came from when he shot that. But then you get somebody like Jack Black, who is no Chaplin, please. No. So
Yeah, Peter Jackson was a loser. He's been a loser all along.
Yeah, he's really huge disappointment. I have to say, since
I agree.
since King Kong, I'm so disappointed from this guy because he had it all. He was my favorite director, and then he fucked it so hard up with the CGI crap, which he didn't need. he's good storyteller normally. He doesn't have to rely so heavily on this CGI stuff. But so what? So
I mean, it's like the movie generation has changed so much over the years. Remember back in years and years ago, back in the 70s, we had the Ten Commandments. Well, I know this is off subject, but we had the Ten Commandments created by Cecil B. DeMille. Well, I mean, he became famously known by what? His cast of thousands. He didn't use, of course, they didn't have a lot of.
I think that was the late 50s.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he was famous for, and all through the 60s and the early 70s, we used extras. We didn't need all this computer generated crap.
Yeah, that cost money, but it gave those movies
it gave it a flair, a special flair.
Yes, it gave it also a scale. You really know when you saw something like that back then in that
like
times,
Spartacus.
You knew this was there. You never thought this is a CGI effect or something like that. Nowadays, every scene you kind of know, even when you have these huge fights. For example, in Justice League here, whatsoever, you had these huge fight scenes which mean nothing. Nothing. They look all the same, fake as fuck. You don't care for anything what is happening there. And
a modern day cartoon.
Yeah, it's just a cartoon. And so Peter Jackson back then, he relied heavily on CGI, especially on the island scenes. You could he said in an interview, this is his favorite movie of all time. The original King Kong is his favorite movie, and it's a dream project of him to make a remake. But and I think he was very ambitious with it, but it's really not. It's like somebody who is a fan but not really understood the source material came like that for me, from my point of view. I thought, really, this is his favorite movie, but he completely fudged the stories together here from the 70s version and from the 30s version. Also, he didn't use any practical effects. It looked like completely CGI.
I think if he had mixed in some practical effects, it would have made a major difference.
He was an okay director during, and I mean okay, not great, but during the Lord of the Rings series and the Hobbit series.
I like the Lord of the Rings series.
Yeah,
the Hobbit series not so much, but the Lord of the Rings I enjoyed.
Basically,
but I like the book.
I agree with you. He was a good director before Lord of the Rings till Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings maybe his last I said good movies are the first Lord of the Rings, but they also already had so much CGI in it, but they had a good story and so on, and
they stuck to the original story, and I had grown up reading that. So the fact that they didn't butcher the story made a lot of difference to me.
Yeah,
the CGI I was able to let because if you had read these books yourself, you kind of already had imagined these scenes, and there was no way anything was ever going to match my imagination. So I was able to forgive it, but I couldn't have forgive it if it had been like woke trash like it would be now. You know what they would do with that now.
It's horrible.
And until Lord of the Rings and before Lord of the Rings, that people know where I come from or where we come from, he made one awesome movie after the other.
And what movies are you talking about? Which ones did you like?
I'm talking about Bad Taste. I'm talking about Brain Dead. I'm talking about Meet the Feebles. I'm talking about Heavenly Creatures. These were back then awesome movies. They were so great. And they were made on a very, very small budget, and he managed to the movies looked much more they looked like they cost much more than they really did. For example, Brain Dead or Dead Alive was such a cheap movie. It costs, I think, $3 million or something like that. This is
Wow.
nothing. This is nothing. So and half of it even was paid from, or a million came from the New Zealand film here this where they when you get money when you make movies, get support from the state or
Right.
something like that. And
Government
yes,
support.
government support. So yes, and he really with every movie, starting with Bad Taste, and was such a great independent movie. He made it on weekends, and he played one of the main characters in it, and shot it with his friends over 1.5 years, and then released it here on film festivals and so on, and it became an underground hit. So, and the next one, he made this puppet movie, Meet the Feebles, which is great. If anybody hasn't seen it, watch it immediately. It's one of the best movies ever. And then of course, Dead Alive or Brain Dead. Many people know Peter Jackson from that. And Heavenly Creatures, awesome movie, based on a true story. So if people haven't seen those movies, watch them. They are great. And after that, stop watching Peter Jackson movies, because after that it goes okay. And Frighteners was kind of okay. I didn't mind.
Frighteners with Michael J. Fox.
Yes, with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, that was a good
What
movie.
was it again?
Frighteners.
Yeah,
Oh,
Frighteners.
okay.
Yeah, and that was also a good movie. It was not a bad movie. I like that. And after that, he made Lord of the Rings, and that was it for Peter Jackson. After that, you have never get another decent movie from him. You got crap like Lovely Bones. You got even bigger crap with the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, those were bad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and of course, don't forget King Kong. King Kong is directly from his crap time. King Kong was the one he made directly after Lord of the Rings, I think, or not.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, and so for me personally, it was a letdown. As I said, the effects, I like it. I would really like the monster stuff on the island. We have dinosaurs, but he did too much. One dinosaur that looks convincing would have been for me okay. I would have been cool with that. But I don't need 20 dinosaurs that look all fake as fuck. And I think that's the problem with Jackson. He tried to show as much as he could, and as I said, it shows with the dinosaurs. It shows also with the insects. He made this. He made this scene where they fall into the cave, where they fall from the tree here into the cave, and he showed this scene. It was a scene that was cut from the original and got lost, and it could have been a very creepy scene if it wouldn't look so fake. Yeah, it's the one where everybody dies, and where also, by the way, King Kong himself dies. The actor who plays King Kong, Andy Serkis.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's the cook on the chef on the ship. Is he? Yeah, I think he's the chef, and he dies. Dies in the cave. if you can remember. Not in the here when they fall from the. I think it's called the spider cave, not cave, spider hole or something like that scene. Yeah, and the tone from the 2005 King Kong, I think was all over the place, because you had scenes like people get horribly eaten up by insects and animals and so on in these like here in this scene, but also you got a woman dancing with an ape on a sea of ice or something like that. So complete kid stuff.
So you wouldn't recommend the movie?
Huh? What?
So you don't recommend the 2005 King Kong?
No. As I said, I hate that one. I completely hate it, and because the two leads are completely miscast. Here, the man, for me, a joke. Both, especially Jack Black. He completely destroys the movie. Sorry.
Jeff says it's a terrible movie.
Yeah, and even here, this Adrian, here this action pianist, Adrian Brody. If he would be the only miscast in the movie, I could live with that. But no, both male actors had to be miscast, and so no, sorry.
If they would have had maybe Godzilla in the movie, would that have made it better?
If he would look as fake as the other stuff in the movie, no. And also, one of my biggest complaints: why the hell had the movie to play out in the 30s? Because a huge chunk of the budget went into the recreation of the 30s New York. They recreated this environment here with CGI, and that was a huge chunk of the budget. So, but we already had a 30s version, which was perfect. So, yeah, I really don't understand that. Why somebody thinks.
Moving along to the next Kong movie, we going up to Skull Island?
Oh, you want to go? You want to go to the island? Hey, it was
it stars your favorite girl
Greg,
of all time, Brie Larson.
Greg, normally you have to introduce that something like, "Hey, let's go to Skull Island." It would be a fast trip. We just go in and then fast go out, like the introduction from the trailer.
I thought it was ironic because you were talking about how they went back to the 30s in 2005, when 2017 they went back to the 70s. So
Yes.
the first movie was set in its own time, the 30s. The second movie was set in its own time, the 70s. The third movie was set in the original 30s. The fourth movie is set in the 70s. So we're kind of caught in like a time loop.
Yeah, kind of. And but when it comes to Skull Island, at least it makes sense from
I like Skull Island.
Storytelling point.
It was a fun movie.
I don't mind it. I don't like it, and I don't hate it. It's just, I think, I don't mind it. As I said, it's because
it was the first movie where Kong runs into a white woman and doesn't get instantly infatuated with her. She's not his whole the whole thing is built around the woman, and you can see why he didn't fall for her. It was Brie Larson. She probably turned him off.
Yes, even Kong, even an ape doesn't give a shit on her. So
no, he sensed how she was.
Yeah, he thought, oh, cool, another blonde woman, and then he saw, oh no, it's Brie Larson. Let's stay friends. I think. Then he turned his head to the camera, and and just said, okay, let's just stay friends. And then he
I'm
left.
surprised he didn't chomp her down. Kind of crunchy.
No, he didn't want to give her a reason to complain.
So you basically, and I guess we're moving on to that movie now. So you had the World War II pilot who crashed with the Japanese pilot, and the Japanese pilot died. I liked his story of surviving through all those years, and then at the end he ends up back at his house watching his Cubs game. I kind of like that story.
Yeah, I like this part of the story. I'm cool with. The thing which drags the movie down for me is another part of the story, and it is the Samuel L. Jackson character, because if it would have been just a movie here, like you say, about an island where monsters live and crawl out of the ground and things like that, I would be totally cool with that.
That would have been a good movie.
Yeah, that would be a good movie. But then the Vietnam plot comes in. And so, first off, why? Why do we need some soldier who makes a comparison to Vietnam which doesn't fit at all? He compares Kong to what exactly? I don't understand, because Vietnam, if you can remember, was about an empire, the US empire, which attacked a third world country, made up an incident here with the boat.
The Tonkin Gulf.
Yeah, made up an incident to have a reason to attack a third world country. And it was all about, in this third world country, there was an elected leader, which was democratically elected, by the way. And they were, but he was, he didn't want to.
Was it Joe Biden? He's really old.
No,
maybe he was a.
No, he
if
didn't.
He was a.
No, he didn't want to sell his country to the empire, to the US, and to the Western world, because so he didn't comply with them. In his case, it was France, by the way, and he didn't comply with them. So they want to remove him and put in a dictator, like they did with the Iran and with many other countries. Everywhere where people, or in Egypt, last time in Egypt, where they removed the.
Yeah, I think that was Kennedy did that, wasn't it?
No, in Egypt they did that 2 years ago, or 3 years
No,
ago.
I meant in Vietnam.
Whoever.
Early 60s.
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter who is president. It's what the people behind the president, the deep state, does. And
the lizard people.
Yeah, the lizard people. The president is just there, and it really doesn't matter if he's a Democrat, Republican, or comes from the Mars or something like that. It doesn't matter, or is a lizard people or whatever. So that was the reason what was happening in Vietnam. So the soldiers were sent there to die for a stupid reason. They told them, oh yeah, we have to free the country. And in fact, it was not that. It was just about power. They wanted to invade Vietnam, wanted it under their thumbs, like the other countries put in a dictator, and that was the reason. So I don't understand what this soldier was comparing with. So Kong is supposed to be what?
Viet Cong, maybe? That's what we called the enemy, Viet Cong. King Kong.
Yeah, okay. So he is supposed to be the Viet Cong who was hiding in the here in
Jungle.
the jungle and defending their country against the invaders.
Well, they were going to spread communism supposedly, and we had to stop it.
Yeah, but why? Okay, so even if somebody is so stupid to think that if an army invades another country, it frees the country or something like that from communism or whatever. Even if somebody is so stupid to
It was
think,
a Cold War thing. It didn't make any
yeah,
sense.
yeah. So, but even then, you can't compare Kong to that. Kong
I didn't
was,
say it made sense. I mean,
yeah,
his name is King Kong, and the enemy was Viet Cong, so the name's the same. That's all I got.
yeah. So, but he was constantly making saying things like, "This time we won't get beaten again," or something like that, and we have to destroy it and show it who is, and
Yeah,
things like that.
I didn't like that.
It was so. It took me
It didn't make a lot of
completely
sense.
out of the story every time because they were clearly the invaders. Clearly, he was just an animal who was living there. So if he wants to make a comparison, then you can bring up something like White Hunter, Black Heart. Yeah, where
But that was a good
uh,
movie.
yes, it was a good movie, and even I can't stand Clint Eastwood because of his one of his movies, but I still know that this one was a good movie. And Clint Eastwood plays John Huston in this one, by the
Yeah, he
way.
does. He played it very
And
well too.
yes, he played it very well. And so and he also didn't make a secret about his motivation, why he wanted to shoot think an elephant.
Yes, I
Yeah,
believe it was an elephant.
yes, he didn't make any secret about it because it's a crime against nature, something like that. So he was completely aware of what he's doing. And if you want to make a comparison, then you can make a comparison like that. You can say, okay, I want to kill Kong because I want to prove myself or something like that. But
But the special effects were a lot better than in like
yeah,
2005.
yeah,
And
okay.
Kong himself was a sympathetic character, and it was the first change of story from the original 1932. It was nice to have a different story. We didn't. Kong wasn't dead at the end. We didn't have him, falling for this same stupid girl and then getting killed. I mean, it was enjoyable to get a different take. Although, yeah, the military aspect took away from it,
Yes, and
and it didn't seem believable that they just want to throw their lives away like that after going through and surviving the Vietnam War.
yeah, it was kind of
By
completely
by that
complete.
point in the war, people weren't this gung ho version that you see in that film.
Yeah, and by the way, Basil, what did you like the Skull Island movie?
Yeah, I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's an
Uh,
older one, but it's actually, it's pretty well done.
yeah, what did you think about the military aspect in the movie? Did it take you out of the story, or did you think, oh no, it doesn't bother me?
The military aspect was a little bit overkill.
Yeah, yeah, yes, like I said, it took me a little bit out of the story, and
Yeah,
also there's another thing. Let's talk about the effects. You say the effects were better, yes, but when these skull crawlers came in, I really thought, what is this cheap crap? What the hell?
Yeah, that's the problem with computer. I can't say it. Computerized graphics, because it doesn't always come out the way you want it to, and sometimes you're just stuck with going with what you got because of cost. Now, that's the problem with these damn producers and directors. They get so damn cheap they don't want to pay for real actors, and they write these bullshit scripts that really actors really don't want to do to begin with. So they come up with this computerized shit. Of course, they can't find real stuntmen like they used to back in the 70s and early 80s to do some of these wild stunts. And it's just like Chuck Norris. He did all of his own stunts in his shows and his movies. Today they're going to use those bullshit computers, to do all the acting for you. It's cheap, and it reflects on the movie itself. Kind of like the Star Wars movies, off subject, of course, but the Star Wars movies, as of late have turned into shit because of computers. Cheap
I
computerized
completely agree on
graphics.
that. Yeah, I completely agree on that. And of course, because of the woke road that they took.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
other thing. And
Everything's turned politically correct now.
so my complaint goes now into my general complaint about this whole monster universe they are building. I am not okay with the fact that King Kong, first appearance of Kong, Skull Island remake of King Kong, that he was just kind of second fiddle in his own movie. I didn't like that because
I mean, why are they're going to do that? Why call him king? He's
yeah,
the
he
king of
was
the apes.
yeah.
The big
First
bad
off,
boy.
he was not the king. He was the son of the king and the queen. He was just baby Kong. And his parents were killed from these skull crawlers, which didn't come off like a real threat, even to the baby, even to Kong himself. They didn't really come off like a threat. So we are now supposed to believe these skull crawlers, they are so dangerous that they killed his parents. Yeah, sure. But Baby Kong defeats them easily. We can see that. So, yes. And that's the first thing. Second thing, the Skullcrawlers themselves were just a cheap thing that they throw in because they didn't want to draw attention from the upcoming movies. Because everything they did with this movie was just a setup for the monster verse. It was just a huge setup. It was nothing more. King Kong was not important at all. He was just had to be there for some stupid reason, and because the real story they wanted to tell was the Godzilla story, and of course King Kong versus Godzilla, because that's the reason. And King Kong had to. They made him bigger for that. They pushed him a little bit to the side that he didn't get so exciting enemies. He just got this boring skull crawlers because the interesting monsters they spared for Godzilla, for the Godzilla movies and things like that. So
basically, the soldiers and the skull crawlers were his enemies.
yeah.
So they substituted the soldiers for a primary monster adversary.
Yeah, but
Like you say, they were saving that up for the Godzilla fight.
Yes, and this shows, and I hate that because I'm a huge King Kong fan, and if King Kong appears, he has to be the star in his own movie, and I don't want his movie be so muddled around another story for a
But
movie that comes out in 3 movies or something like that.
but you thrive on hate.
No, but I was really pissed about this fact because I knew that when I saw it back then. I thought, oh god,
It
yeah,
made you mad.
yeah, Now I have to look forward to the stupid Godzilla, to the next Godzilla movie whatsoever. Why? I want to see King Kong in a really want to see them try everything to make a convincing King Kong movie, and when it is a success, then they can go from that, but not kind of, oh, we have to do this one and throw this one out because the other ones are the important ones. Yeah, no, that is my biggest complaint with it, with Skull Island. In general, I don't mind it, but I thought that King Kong was not treated with the respect he deserved. That was, I thought.
Well, yeah, I could agree with that. But I still enjoyed the movie. I wasn't all upset by it like you were. It was probably the best of the monster movies we've had until this one we just watched today.
Yeah, that we are going to talk about that one. So
It sounds like you're really excited about it. Doesn't it sound that way, Basil?
yeah,
You can hear the excitement.
It's like, I had to talk about that one.
We want to talk about it. We have ways of making you talk.
yeah.
You
So
sound like Basil, Dragon, the Great, after a long day of training with Dragon,
So you didn't hate Skull Island?
One of my
No.
noodles.
No, I didn't hate it.
Yay! So we moved up to non-hate. That's good.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's okay, but I'm just a little bit. I'm disappointed that it could have been so much more, and that it was not really an attempt to reactivate Kong. It was really more like, yeah, we need him for the fight against Godzilla, so yeah, he has to be there. We make him bigger, and don't waste interesting enemies or interesting story. Don't waste that. Just bring him on, and then we move on to the Godzilla movie. So before that, I think before Skull Island, I think the Godzilla one was before that. It was from 2014, and Skull Island was from 2016, I think.
Yeah, or 17.
17. Yes. So,
yeah, Godzilla was 2014, and Skull Island was 17.
Yeah. So did they? I think they did already set up some things in the Godzilla one.
Yeah, they did, and they set up stuff in Skull Island too, where you could see. He talked about at the beginning. Basically, there'd been a battle with Godzilla or something.
Yeah, they also spoke about the hollow Earth or something
I
like
think
that.
they did, yes.
And mentioned that. So yeah, as I said, it was kind of just a setup, and so let's just go very fast over the 2014 Godzilla movie. I couldn't stand that one. I thought it was boring. It was not my kind of Godzilla at all. I thought it had too much of human characters, which I didn't care about anyone. The only
That was the one with Bryan
Okay.
Cranston.
Yeah, this was the only character I cared about, and he died directly in the beginning, so there was nobody to root for anymore. Yeah, and I didn't like it. I never rewatched it, by the way. I watched it one time. I was glad I got through it, and that's it. So, what's your opinion on the Godzilla one from 2014?
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot better if they hadn't have killed off Bryan Cranston. If they'd kept him alone, it brought in Godzilla sooner. I think that when they had the monster scenes, they showed it in too dark and also too quick a cutaways. So it took away from the monster or kaiju action that we got. Was so disjointed and dark and hard to see, and limited. They had they messed up the storyline, which they normally do. But you had a really good actor, and you had him at his peak, and you didn't really use him. You got rid of him after the first act, and that was a mistake. They should have kept him around and utilized him, and they should have done a better job on the monster battle, because it is a Godzilla movie. Good God, don't waste the only good actor you really have had in any of the Godzilla movies and kill him off for no apparent reason. Yeah, it just I was disappointed. There were some good scenes. I enjoyed some of the Godzilla action when we finally got some, but it was too little, too late, really.
Yeah, and the story, also the son of Cranston in this story, his son, I think, was this military guy, or think he was the only one who could detonate the bomb or something like that.
Yeah, right.
It
was kind of unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just yeah, the whole thing. It was a huge disappointment. So
Jess says it was restricted by its budget.
Was it?
I thought it had a big budget.
Yeah, I think even 160 million or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe they spent most of that on hookers and cocaine or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or recreating a 1954 or something like that.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, wasting a half of the budget on that.
Well, half of the budget on the one thing and the other half on the other. It didn't leave much.
Yeah. So
they didn't get Bryan Cranston cheap. So now we're coming up to the actual movie we're supposed to be reviewing, and it's only been how many hours?
There was one in there's one in
2.5 hours in.
Yes, but GregZilla, there is one in between. We can't just. We have to at least mention it. The Godzilla
which one's
2.
that?
Godzilla 2.
Oh yeah, the other. We reviewing all the Godzilla movies too, because we did all the Kongs, but I don't think we did a small portion of the Godzillas.
Yeah, no, but these two Godzillas are important for this one we want to talk about, because
are they?
Yeah, because King of the Monsters leads directly into Godzilla versus Kong. Because in King of the Monster, the MechaGodzilla is set up with King Ghidorah, or not?
I don't know. I was just trying to read VN's German. He says "Ich haben Gruben Garten." I don't know. I can't read it, but it sounds like he was disagreeing with you in German. Das Wurst du sicher nicht. Nein.
No, I can't read it either. He's just making words up. This is not German. What he's.
So what happened?
It's not German. I knew this wasn't a real language.
Yeah.
No wonder I can't read it.
Yeah. No, he's just making words up and pretends this is German.
That makes sense. All this time I've been trying to puzzle that stuff out, and it's not even real language.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I told him not to use this our fake language that people don't that doesn't blow our scam. But now the German scam is blown. Now we have to stick to the Corona scam. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, Cub. It's a direct sequel to King of the Monsters. That was Jez, and he's using English. Oh, yay!
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So King here, Godzilla 2. What is happening?
What was the name of the second one? They just called
Godzilla,
it Godzilla 2,
Godzilla 2,
like Jaws 2.
King of the Monsters.
I thought that was the first one, King of the Monsters.
No, the first one was just called Godzilla, and the second one is called Godzilla
Oh, was
2,
it? Okay, all right.
King of
Yeah,
the
you're
Monsters.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you loved Godzilla, and then you really loved King of the Monsters because it had extra monsters.
I liked King of the Monsters more than I liked Godzilla because I hated Godzilla.
Well, that's fair.
And hey, where's Basil? We lost Basil, or did we? Okay. Yeah, I hope he
I
comes
think he's
in.
still there. Are you still there?
No, he's not in the stream anymore. I think we lost the connection.
Go ahead and talk. I'll go check on him.
Houston,
We've got a problem.
we got
He'll
a
never be able to
problem.
figure it out if I leave him alone in there. I heard a
Oh
lot
my
of
God.
scratching and banging.
Oh my God!
He was probably eating cookies
Hey,
or
is
something.
he got attacked by a monster? By
He
which one?
should have.
By Godzilla or by King Kong?
It's probably one of those skull creatures or something.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe by Sasquatch. Who knows?
Could be.
Yeah, we have.
I don't even think he knows. I bet he's in there talking to us and doesn't even know it. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Huh? Oh my God! Don't leave me alone here with the monsters. Monster talk. Yeah. So yeah, it seems like they have some technical problems. So I'm going to say why I can't stand Godzilla 2, Godzilla Boogaloo, this one here from 2019. What I remember from the movie, it had a ridiculous, stupid plot with the humans. Kind of. I can't remember why the monsters were even fighting. I already forgot that. But what was? I also can't remember the fights themselves. Kind of forgot about the whole movie. But at the end of the movie, they fight. Okay, let's bring.
Okay.
And now
Hey, MechaBazzilla, he's back. So yeah, you really have to help me here because I have already completely forgotten Godzilla 2, here the last Godzilla movie. Can somebody of you remember what the movie was about?
Hello.
Godzilla 2?
Yeah, King of the Monsters. What he was fighting the other monsters, but why?
Yeah, why? Why?
I think they had a ridiculous human plot. This.
Oh, that was the ecological people, right?
Yes, I think that.
The global warming people set them all loose to try and fix the Earth by reducing our population or something.
Yes,
It's basically the same story as Avengers, you know.
Reducing the population? No, it's the same story that we have now with Corona and Bill Gates.
Well, they created. They had Zilla pair up with Mothra.
Yeah, but because
that's true.
And to go after King, what's his name?
King Ghidorah,
something like that. Is that right?
Yeah,
I think that is right.
Yeah, King Ghidorah. He was the main villain.
He was linked up with Rodan.
Yes, and Godzilla got help from Mothra at the end.
The giant moth.
Yeah, Mothra, or is it called or not? And
I think it is called Mothra.
Yes, so they defeat the monsters at the end, I guess, and they and King Ghidorah gets all the heads get destroyed, besides of one. One of the heads didn't get destroyed. And in an end credit scene, you see that somebody, Charles Dance, finds the head, or his people.
Oh, and that's the head that ends up in the movie we just watched today.
Yes. So they use in the movie, let's say, so much for Godzilla 2. I couldn't stand that movie. It was horrible. I liked, of course, the monster fights, but
I like the monster fight. I thought they got a little better, but they still weren't up to what they should have been. It was too much cutaways, too much darkness. How hard is it to do a nice wide angle shot of monsters with good lighting? How stupid are you to give me? I'm talking. They cut away after 3 or 4 seconds, and that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and also this time they really messed up the story completely with the human characters. They were so annoying.
They were annoying.
Yeah, really, I couldn't stand them. No, were all annoying, and they were not even bad actors. It was really, they had nothing to
the
work
writing.
with. The writing was all over the place. So yeah, let's move quick on from that. Just wanted to mention the King Ghidorah part, so that people get what we are talking about when we now talk about.
All right, we're 4 hours and 42 minutes in, and we finally got to what we named the stream after, the King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yes, this you call build up. Okay, so
true.
Yeah, we have to establish things and make the build.
I think you call that Cub getting right to it.
It was important. It was a good check because we had to at least establish some background, just like you said.
That's true. We needed background.
Yeah.
Well, you got to give them some,
Yes,
should we have jumped into it and then went back and say, "Oh wait, we got to do some background first"? That would have been funny.
Yes. So Basil and Greg, you both have seen the movie. It's fresh in your head. So please tell me, what is this? What is Godzilla versus Kong about?
Well, Kong is in what would you call it? A virtual reality dome or something, Basil?
Almost like a Matrix, yeah.
Yeah, on Skull Island, by the way.
On Skull Island, it's like something that and he throws a sharpened log or tree at it and exposes it. So he obviously knows that it's not real, and he's also got this little girl who's communicating with him.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
It's the last.
She is deaf too. This little Japanese girl is deaf, and she's able to communicate with him through her emotions.
Yeah, no, through sign language, and she's the last survivor of the tribe that was living on the island. By the way,
is she?
Yes.
I didn't get that.
No, she portrays. She tries to say that, he is sad for some reason because you took him away from his home, and yet he's pissed off at the same time.
So the whole tribe that was there in Skull Island is gone now?
Yes, wiped out from the storm. There was this storm rotating here near the Skull Island. It's the storm when you see the storm in Skull Island when they had to go through it to get to the island, and this storm decided for some reason in the last 50 years, because this movie plays out nowadays, 2020 or 20, I think, and 50 years after Skull Island. And so this storm decided in these 50 years to go over the island, kill everybody besides this little girl, and then go back or something like that. So she's the last survivor. And
yeah, I didn't realize she was the last survivor. I thought she was a native to the island, but I must have missed that. Probably I was listening to Basil go on about something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Okay, so
You get your head cut off with dragon sword.
so so they are hiding Kong. There's this organization. It's called not Apex. Is the I think the other one. The government organization was called. It has a American name. I can't remember.
I can't
They
either. Maybe Basil can.
yeah.
Nope.
So so this organization is hiding Kong from Godzilla. They are hiding him under a dome. Because Godzilla is uh, kind of tries to find him or something like that. I don't know. Uh,
But Zilla's
Well,
always
I
pissed
think
off about something.
Kong was the only one who hadn't submitted to Godzilla, right?
yes, I think Godzilla killed all the other monsters, and Godzilla and Kong is kind of the last one.
I'm not
And
sure if he killed them all or made them all submit. I'm not sure. It did show that deal where it looked like they'd been X'd out, but I'm not sure if they were all destroyed or if he just made them submit.
yeah, but in this one they all disappeared. Even the ones that submit, even the allies all disappear because Godzilla is alone. There's no other monsters.
That's true. He's
So
alone, but he's the only one we see. Does that necessarily mean he's the only one that exists? I don't know. Maybe the others are all hiding in domes too,
yeah, or hiding in Hollow Earth, or
or
I
in
don't
the
know.
Hollow Earth, or maybe they stepped through a dimensional portal or something.
Yeah. So now we have this company called Apex that is creating that created another monster or mechanical monster, MechaGodzilla, and this one they create through the head of King Ghidorah for some reason. I don't know why they have to do that, and but it is driven by a human. A human is connected to this King Ghidorah head and transmits and controls the Mechagodzilla,
And of
something
course,
like
that
that.
didn't work out too well.
Yeah, and it runs on 40% power for some reason, and now they need the remaining 60%, and they want this power from the flat Earth
Yeah,
because
somehow they needed to get the power signature to be able to do that.
yes, something like that. I
Because
guess.
the what's his name, the guy who builds the guy in charge of Apex, I guess it's his name, who pays to build the Mecha Godzilla. It's his daughter that they send out to secure the energy signature, I guess you'd call it, from the Hollow Earth.
Yes, and
And of course,
also
she's very unpleasant. A matter of
yeah,
fact, almost all the females in this movie are unpleasant.
yeah, that's true. And also the people here, here the government organization that hides Kong decides to go with Kong to bring him to the Hollow Earth because he is safe there or something like that. So they go with him, put him on a ship, and want to search with him the entry because the entry are so portals, and they Kong knows where they are. Or, I guess is that true?
I'm not sure. I'm
Something
gonna
like
say yes. What do you think, Basil?
yeah.
No comment.
Yeah, so and doing that, Godzilla is attacking he was attacking an Apex laboratory or something like that, and also he attacks Kong on the ship first time.
Yeah, that was a great battle scene where he comes up underneath Kong and destroys like the battleship and the destroyers and the aircraft carrier, and pulls Kong down into the deep. That was our first battle between Godzilla and Kong since 1962.
Yes, and we get now our first illogical thing in the story. Because Godzilla is mad for some reason. And humans are asking themselves, oh, we don't know what is going on. Godzilla has turned against us. Because before that, he was kind of protector of the humans or the species or the world, protector of the world or something like that.
Kind of like Cub.
Yes, kind of like King Cub, yeah. So they don't know what is going on, and then they find out later in the movie, they find out Godzilla was mad because he was sensing the signals from King
Ghidorah's head.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but this doesn't make sense in the sense that he attacks Kong on the ship. Because on the ship, there was no King Ghidorah head or signals or something like that.
Well, the King Ghidorah thing got him mad in general. Kind of like you after watching, one of the early Godzilla movies. And since he's already irritable, he's out swimming around destroying Apex stuff, and he senses Kong, and Kong has never submitted to him. Remember, Kong's aura or whatever had been shielded from Godzilla by that dome, and Godzilla may very well have sensed Kong before, and then had not been able to find him because of the dome that shielded. And so now he senses him, and he's extra mad. First of all, he can't find the stupid King Ghidorah thing that's got him irritable. And second of all, there's Kong. He's finally spotted him, and he's floating across his ocean. He didn't like that.
Yes, and they fight against each other, and then Godzilla.
It was a good fight. What did you think of the fight?
And then Godzilla has Kong on the ground and wants to kill him, but then they found out they have the same mother, which is called Mothra or something like that.
What was Superman's mom's name?
No,
Mothra.
yeah, hey, that was Batman vs Superman.
Just like Batman, right?
This one it was Mothra, I think.
Yeah, you see, Cub's making a reference to Batman versus Superman, where they both have the same mother's name.
So yeah, no. So they fight against each other, and Kong clearly loses the fight, and but Godzilla doesn't swims away because I think they distract him or something like that. But Kong loses the first fight.
Yeah, he's about to be drowned, and they drop depth charges and get him to release him. He climbs up, and he just collapses on the ship, and they shut everything down. So basically, throwing their hands up and saying, "No más, no más." That's no more in Spanish, and
yeah.
So that ends the first fight, but it was a good fight. I mean, what did you think of the battle and the CGI and of the first encounter?
I didn't mind it, but I also didn't care for it because
didn't care for it. It was awesome.
Yeah, but the CGI fights.
I'd have to agree.
You'd prefer the old rubber monster suit?
At least there's something at stake. When
what about it that did you not like?
because I didn't know exactly what to root for, and also he destroyed many ships during this fight here, GredZilla. So many people died, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, a lot of people. There would have been thousands just on that aircraft carrier, and
Yeah,
thousands more on that battleship. I would estimate at least 5,000.
maybe, I don't know, but yeah, they didn't really bother with that. So I also didn't bother with that. It's also okay. So what to expect? So it's not really serious. So there are two CGI creatures fighting each other, and you know that they won't really kill each other or something like that, because
CGI creatures. I mean, just because they're in CGI format doesn't mean it's not King Kong and Godzilla. Whether they're in rubber suits or CGI, the essence of the monsters remains their character. This is still King Kong from 1932. This is still Godzilla from 1954. I reject your submission.
yeah, as I said, it's yeah, yeah, but for me it looked clearly like a CGI fight.
It
So
may have looked like CGI, but this is Godzilla versus King Kong, and it was well done. It was the best CGI I may have ever seen.
maybe yes,
So
but
that counts for something. At least with me, I was rooting for Godzilla because I'm GregZilla, but I also in my heart cared about Kong. I mean, the expressions on both of their faces was extremely well done. It's the best I've ever
Yeah,
seen them do. I mean, especially if you
I
compare it
agree.
to the 1962 version. This is the last time we saw them fight. The horrible costume they had for Kong, uh, the terrible. This was a big improvement. Yes, the females were all very disagreeable. Like when they have the first time we see Millie Bobby Brown or whatever her name is from Stranger Things, and she steals the van from
Oh yeah,
the
before the guy
Australia.
could even get in the damn car.
Right, she takes his van and then drives off. I mean, first of all, who leaves their keys in the car, or who throws them to him, or whatever they did? The only way she could treat him like that is if he did something stupid like that, and then she doesn't even wait for him to open the door. I mean, she's just totally rude, and that's as nice as she is through the whole show. A matter of fact, you could cut all of her scenes out, her whole subplot, and it would be a better movie. Add a little bit more of Kong fighting Godzilla, or bring in a another monster besides MechaGodzilla. Maybe you could have Mothra show up. Maybe you could have oh God, people singing to Mothra through part
Yeah.
of the movie. Since the did you ever see any of the movies where they just sing basically the whole movie for Mothra to finally get her butt moving by the end?
hey, Greg, didn't you see
Yes.
the review? I say I have seen all Godzilla movies. I have seen them all, not just a few of them. So
Hmm.
yes, of course, I know I know the
But were you
series.
like half asleep, or did you really let? Because earlier you weren't sure about Gamera, the turtle creature. You got him confused with the other one.
Yes, because Gamera didn't appear in any of the Godzilla movies. I
Well,
watched
that's
just
true.
the Godzilla
But
ones.
but the other one was definitely not a turtle. The one with the spike.
No, and
Anguirus, I think his name was.
yes, and the thing is, it was an Inishiro Honda movie that he made later, because he made also other movies, not just Godzilla movies, and I didn't. It was the first one, and I just I didn't know anything about the monster verse or something like that. For me,
Hmm.
these
Hmm.
were just. I didn't even know they are connected to anything. It was just a monster movie where there was an island and these 3 monsters appeared there for some reason. That was all.
Yeah, even Godzilla fighting a shark would have been good. A giant shark.
Yeah.
Better than that stupid scene.
Yeah. And,
What about when Godzilla fought the lobster creature? You remember that one, Cub?
Yes, of course.
We all know
Yes.
Basil
Yeah,
did a
bring him
special. Basil did a special movie review about that.
Yes, that was very, very funny and cool. And the thing is, for me, this whole scene, it was so made up. The whole situation, you really didn't get the reason why Kong should fight Godzilla. It was not so clear. So the fight was okay.
Like Yoda would say, "Cloudy it is."
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't mind it, but I also didn't care for it. And this last scene where Godzilla makes his in this first fight where he throws his breath to the air. I liked this scene. I thought, oh yes, this is cool. It looks cool. And Kong jumps into the water. Yeah, but that's it. And then Godzilla swims away, and Kong he's on the ship and is defeated, kind of. So yeah, okay.
He was, he was defeated but not vanquished.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Yeah. So from there on, now it gets a little bit confusing because now they have this subplot with this conspiracy theorist.
Oh, the black guy?
Yeah, and
what was his name?
Can't remember.
I can't either.
And also the girl.
I can't remember any of the actors' names in this thing.
And also we had the girl and the fat boy, from Deadpool 2. Here, he was just there. So.
Oh, the conspiracy guy or the Australian, Millie Bobby Brown and the Australian guy. They're going around with the conspiracy theorist. Is that who you mean?
Was this an Australian guy? I have no clue. He was.
I'm not sure. It sounded like an Australian accent, but I guess it could have been something else. I mean, New Zealand or I don't know, some type of odd accent. I thought it was Australian. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I have just discovered this is the same boy from Deadpool 2 here. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so these three joined up together whatsoever, and are searching for something. And all these scenes with these three people, they were all awful, horrible.
Yeah, they were terrible. That's what I said. You could cut all that out, and it would improve the movie.
Yeah, yes.
You could have brought in a turtle creature.
Yeah, and especially the conspiracy guy. He was just annoying, and he annoyed the whole movie. And even when the movie was over, he was still annoying.
But he was the best of those three because she was totally, the only reason the fat boy was there was so the girl could have somebody to constantly humiliate.
Yeah, but the guy was he was constantly talking. He
was bad. I'm just saying he was the best of those three. You could have got rid of all three of them, and it would have improved the movie immensely.
No, he was the worst of those three. If they replaced him with a plant or something like that, would be much better.
A plant would have been great, but I'm just saying the rather rotund Australian guy was a total beta male who just got. He started out his first scene is where he gets his van stolen from him, and that was as strong as he got. I mean, he was just terrible.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you
Oh.
there?
Yes, because you the sound went away, and I thought, oh my God, what happened?
It was probably Basil. He keeps tapping his microphone or something.
Yeah. Okay, let's put it on MechaBazzilla.
Yeah, Mecha.
Yeah, because we have Greg. You
MechaBazzilla.
know, at the end of the review, we have to join up
Team
against
up and destroy him. I know.
team up against Basil because he's the real bad guy here. You know.
Yeah.
Basil, a bad guy? Never.
Yeah, but
Well,
you are not.
You're
Basil.
not Basil. You're being controlled by the other creature.
Yeah, you are MechaBazzilla.
Mecha Basil.
Yes.
Basil.
Yes. What did you do with the real Basil? Where did he
Yes,
go?
we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. No, he sneaked in as Basil, and then it turns out he's MechaBazzilla.
I think he swapped when he went away for a minute. I think that was a real Basil, and now it's this Mecha Basil now.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
no!
the big
Greg,
bad
Yeah.
Mecha.
I think he was created by Doctor Who, or don't you
I
think?
think so too. Doctor Who.
The silence is when Mecha took over, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh my
that's
God.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He even admits it.
Yeah. And Doctor Who gave him extra power of your white supremacy, or what you call it.
Uh oh.
An extra
Basil
layer.
needs to make chili with
Yeah.
more beans. Keep MechaZilla away.
Chili's
Yeah.
delicious.
So okay,
Yes.
this is
Okay, so what happened?
this plot with these three annoying characters leads sometime in the movie. It leads to this apex where they find then this King Ghidorah head and MechaGodzilla and so on. So let's go away from that. Let's go back to Kong. Kong now he goes with this other organization. They find the entry to the Hollow World.
And remember the girl, I mean the daughter of the guy who built the MechaGodzilla, she's shows up while Kong's being transported. And she's again this totally unpleasant female who, just constantly humiliates the males around her. Matter of fact, they all do that. I don't know what was going on with this movie, but
Yeah,
It's
but
becoming Star
Greg,
Wars-esque.
Greg,
Yeah.
they do that because the man deserve it, or don't you think?
I guess
so?
that they write the characters where I guess that's so because they're all cringe beta males who totally I don't know. It's sad. It takes away from the movie because every one of them's like that. Even the little girl and the what's her name who's talking to her, they're calling the doctor or whatever a coward several times, and when he goes out on deck, he's cowering down and afraid to even shake a hand. Whereas the women are just totally confident and
and I don't understand why they bothered with putting so many men into the movie. They just could get Patrick Stewart, and then
Yeah.
he takes the role of all the men, and that's
and
it.
he could just apologize constantly, I guess.
Yes, just apologizing throughout the whole.
For me, that took away from the movie, but they one of my favorite parts was where the daughter she betrays everyone after she gets the power signature and transmits it back so that MechaGodzilla can power up. She tries to escape, and she tells them to Kong is in their way, and she tells them to shoot him, just shoot him. And so they machine gun across his back.
Hey,
He turns.
wait! You are much too far into the story.
All
First
right,
off,
let's go back.
yeah, let's take our audience with us, okay?
right.
So
I'm gonna let you tell it.
no, no, Greg, you did it fine. I uh, uh, just
Well,
don't
of
want to
course I did
jump
it fine.
so much in the story. Kind of stay in the continuity. So they find the entrance to the Hollow Earth, and
Yeah.
it's a theory. And even if they have no clue if it works, they say, "Oh, fuck it," because it's kind of a portal
And they're
where
now traveling in those. I don't know what kind of ships they are.
yes, it's kind of
It's some
spaceship.
kind of new
Yeah, little
science
pod
fiction
ships.
pod ship
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yes, and so so they say, okay, let's do it. We go there, and they do it. And now they are there, and Kong is now in this. He's now there with them in this Hollow Earth thing, and this Hollow Earth is a kind of like it's everything is on the head or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
it's where gravity reverses itself, and the inside of the Earth is above them and below them. That's where Kong finds the axe.
yes, and the axe is made from something, Spike from Godzilla or something like that.
It's got to be, yeah, probably not this Godzilla, but probably a previous Godzilla. Maybe that would have been vanquished, or maybe they just broke a spike off. Apparently, the dorsal spikes or fins or whatever you call them are able to hold a nuclear charge
Yes, there is some
because the axe charges up.
yeah, there is some energy source in the Hollow Earth, which yes, which charges things, and it charges also the X. And this is also the reason why this is the energy that these bad guys want. So
Yes.
they decide to turn against them. This bad fraction take the energy, put it in a bottle or something like that, and now they turn against the good guys and put the weapons on them. He threatened them. Even if Kong is just standing next to them,
Right.
or not.
Yes.
So really, when I saw the scene, I really thought, what's going on here? So they just turned against them, and Kong was right there. He was just right there, watching everything. So, who would have thought that now Kong is attacking them or not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a great
Not
plan.
only Kong, but those creatures. What do you call them? The giant bugs or whatever.
Skull crawlers? No, yeah, no.
I don't think they were skull crawlers. They were maybe
Yeah, it was something. No,
some kind of giant critters.
yeah, there's some bugs.
Yeah, giant bugs.
Yeah,
Look
something like
like
that.
the kind of mosquitoes we have here in Texas.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
About 6 feet tall.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because Doomcock has his lair also in the Hollow Earth, or not?
That's why he has it so far below ground.
Yeah, yeah, and we know there is a portal in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so now also in the same time, Godzilla is destroying a big city and making.
I think it's Hong Kong.
Yeah, I have no clue which city that supposed to be.
I think it was Hong Kong. I'm not absolutely sure, but yeah.
Okay, so Hong Kong, and there's everything neon and so on. So
Awesome neon.
did he find the portal? or did he create one by?
Godzilla takes his breath and blows a hole into the earth because he can sense the energy when Kong starts charging it.
No, okay. So yeah, so he
And then he
blows.
looks down that hole. Yeah.
Yeah, he blows a hole into the earth, to the hollow earth, and destroys and the this
The
action
charging
also.
station thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind something like that, and so now we have a hole where he's looking down and Kong is looking up or something like that.
Right. And
They're
that's the
shot.
one that Kongs end up climbing up. But before he goes up, that's when our daughter of the bad guy, Doctor Who, or whatever his name is in this one, uh, she decides to take off, and that's where she orders him to machine gun Kong's back, and he reaches around and grabs the ship and crushes her. That was really cool. By this point in the movie, I was really tired of that girl. I was
Yeah.
honestly tired of all the females just about. For some reason, they were just pretty unlikable, you know? I don't know. Maybe it was just
From the
me.
Me Too movement.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
disappeared.
guess. But the guys certainly weren't aggressive. The more passive the guys were, the worse they'd treat them. Which, yeah.
Yeah, it was really it.
That's just,
What?
I'm not blaming the actresses. That's just how they were written.
So, by the way, this organization creates the MechaGodzilla to fight against Godzilla and so on, to fight against these big creatures, to have a weapon against these monsters. That was the motivation behind creating MechaGodzilla in the first time. So, but how did they get the energy to the MechaGodzilla?
Jez calls it the energy MacGuffin.
Yeah, how did they get the MacGuffin up there? Because it gets there
Now,
somehow.
apparently, all they had to do was transmit the frequency. Now,
Oh,
I thought that was a little confusing, but from what I understood watching the movie, she like uses her handheld device and gets the frequency, and she was like, "Okay, transmit the frequency," and that's all they needed to do. Once they did that, MechaGodzilla powers up, and she's like, "We can get out of here." And they turn on everybody and start getting everybody killed, and then she ends up getting crushed by Kong in probably the best scene in the movie, crunch.
yes,
He turns around, grabs it, and just goes crunch like a beer can in the
yes,
70s. Crunch.
but don't forget, doing that before the Kong does that, she says, "No, no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no, no."
yeah, that was perfect. It was funny. It was humorous. That was the only really good joke in the movie, and it wasn't a
Yes,
joke. It was but it was a funny scene.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess because she was unlikable, and when she finally gets crunched, it was enjoyable.
Yes, it was really about time she got
It really
crunched.
was. If they could have stepped on her in the first minute she showed up, and I would have been happier.
Yeah, so now Kong goes up there by just jumping, and then he kind of directly flies there
Jez
up.
says the energy did whatever the script needed it to. That's true. Now, what were you saying, Cub?
So Kong, he goes up there, this hole, by.
Yeah, he climbs through the hole.
Is he climbing? I think he just jumps on it, and then.
Well, you got that whole reversed polarity energy thing.
Yes.
So, yeah, he propels himself and gets sucked upwards or something.
Yes, something like that. It's really because he all he kind of like an attack. He jumps and then he kind of something like
And then,
below.
and then he's there. But he brought
Yes.
his axe.
Yes, and he brought his axe
And then you have the big battle between Kong and Godzilla in Hong Kong.
yes. So
So what did you think of the battle?
Greg, you
Yeah.
be kind and tell the people a little bit about this battle, because I have to grab something and I'm back in a minute.
Okay. All right. So as Cub was saying, Kong propels himself up through the tunnel from the Hollow Earth to the city. Now you got to remember the city is at nighttime, but it's lit up really well. The neon or whatever, all the buildings are glowing, so you're able to see the monster action. Kong has his axe. Godzilla attacks. Kong battles him back and forth, with the axe, with the punches, but Kong gets his ass beat down. It's a great battle, but he loses it. He ended up even getting like his shoulder dislocated, and finally Godzilla ends up putting his foot on his chest and screaming at him, and he could have killed him right there quite clearly. And this is the second time in the movie he could have killed him, but Kong, even though he screams back, he's beaten, and Godzilla decides to spare him for whatever reason. About that time, MechaGodzilla fires up, and MechaGodzilla is really powerful. And
oh my God, MechaGodzilla is already here.
yeah, well, Kong and Godzilla had a great battle. What did you think of the battle, Basil?
Yeah, I thought it was one of the best battles around so far yet in all the series. It was a hard fought battle. They both kicked ass. And unfortunately, Kong, for some reason, Kong got his ass whooped at the end. That doesn't mean that's just the first battle, though. That doesn't mean he's not going to, he's going to lay down and give it up. Zilla's going to have to come back and really do some serious damage because he's going to be one pissed off ape.
Yeah, but Kong loses the second battle, and
he gets his shoulder dislocated. He loses his axe. He's basically beaten.
Yes, he's beaten, but Godzilla spares his life, and
I think Zilla realizes that he's done enough damage for now, and maybe he got the point across to Kong that he's he's king of the beasts.
Yeah,
he'll either submit or get his ass kicked, and next time it won't be so easy on him.
So now you say MechaGodzilla comes in, and
yeah, you take over this part, Cub. Tell us what happens when MechaGodzilla comes in. I've got to get a drink.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So MechaGodzilla comes in and starts to fight against Godzilla, and and beats him. Kind of. He's much stronger. It seems like he has this dangerous breath, and during the fight scene, something happens to the bad guys, because in one scene they lose control over MechaGodzilla, and MechaGodzilla kills them all. Just the bad guys in one scene. It kills them all, and the annoying characters, they stay alive for some reason, even if they are in the same room. but I don't know. And so now King Ghidorah, the head or something like that, has now the full control over MechaGodzilla. So it's kind of King Ghidorah, and not the human anymore who has controlled him. So yes, let's see if Greg comes back.
So what did
Because-
you think about the battle between when he paired up with Godzilla to take on Mecha?
Yeah, before he takes
Tequila margarita.
before he pairs with Godzilla, first Godzilla gets kind of beaten by the Mecha Godzilla, or not? And he pairs up with him when Godzilla is on the ground and has to get the final shot from Mecha, I think. And then King Kong comes back and saves Godzilla by attacking the Mecha Godzilla. But they only can beat Mecha Godzilla together when the humans make something in the control room to cut the power from the Mecha Godzilla.
Right. That's when that goofy chick poured the drink on the control panel.
Yes, because for some reason, even Mecha Godzilla.
And remember, he was a great computer hacker, and that's how he hacked the computer.
Yeah, Greg, because now we have another scene that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Because the bad guys lose control over Mecha Godzilla in the final. And Mecha Godzilla.
That's right, it shorts out. Why does that happen, Cub?
I have no idea. Mecha Godzilla turns his head and destroys all humans, but not the annoying ones, just the bad guys. It blows them. Here, the one that controls him gets an electric whatever, and dies like in an electric chair, and the other one in the control room gets blown up by MechaGodzilla, something like that. And yeah, and the annoying ones are still there. Here, the hacker and so on, and then they fight and so on, and during the fight, they cut his power, because the power is here from the control panel, and it's somehow still connected with MechaGodzilla. I didn't understand that.
Isn't that how your computer is connected to your various remote control monsters?
Yeah.
Or probably. You do it differently?
Yeah, probably, because MechaGodzilla sets himself kind of free and is now controlled by King Ghidorah, but still is kind of connected with this power thing where they put the drink on the controls and.
Oh, I find it totally believable. Last time I had a remote control monster, Q was there, and he knocked his drink over and shorted it out, and the damn monster got away.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe so.
Oh yeah, half of Yankee Land was destroyed. Of course, they covered it up.
Yes, they said made something up about a pandemic or something like that.
Yeah, something.
I think they are still covering it up.
And they are. It's terrible. And it was all Basil knocking his drink over.
Yeah, and you told them it was here. It was just a hoax, and half of the states are open again but the other ones they just don't want to believe you. I think.
That's
Basil
terrible.
has a new friend.
Yeah, they still believe in this hoax, which you set up.
Oh, kitty.
So.
Okay, kitty.
Yeah. So okay. So the end fight. The MechaGodzilla gets distracted from this action from the humans, and that's the moment where Godzilla and where King
King
Kong.
Kong, or
Yeah.
King Cub and
Yeah.
GregZilla combine to
Yeah.
defeat the great MechaBazzilla.
Yes, they could finally defeat him and uh, destroy him completely. And after that, Godzilla goes away, and King Kong stays, and yeah, the movie ends. I
So,
think.
what did you think of the movie overall, Cub? Did you
Uh,
like it or did you love it?
I didn't mind it, but
Hey, that's pretty
I did.
good for Cub.
Hey, but I liked Skull Island more. I thought Skull Island, if I have to rewatch one of them, I would rewatch Skull Island, but not King Kong versus
Oh,
Godzilla, because really, is there a reason to rewatch it, Greg?
The monster scene.
Yeah, but the all
The monster action, I thought the CGI was well done. The lighting was much better than in the previous ones, except for Skull Island. Skull Island was well lit and well shot. But I'm talking the Godzilla movies. This is the first Godzilla movie we've had in a long time that you can actually see Godzilla, and we didn't have a whole lot of other monsters like it would have been nice to have, but definitely I enjoyed the monster action. Of course the people, a lot of that was unwatchable, but it wasn't that bad. They kept that to a minimum this time, so that was helpful.
yeah, but
But I liked it. I think maybe Skull Island was better, but I just watched the movie and I had fun. I'm just trying to have fun, and have been drinking a little bit.
Yeah, I thought the environment from Skull Island looked better. I like the sets more. Uh, it didn't look so with these fight scenes with from Godzilla and Kong in the city. For here, the last one, the big one. I thought,
Well, you had the fight scene on the water, and that was something totally new. And then you had the fight scene in the neon lit city at night, and I thought that was something new too. So you had totally different background.
yeah, but the fight scene in the city, the last one, I don't know. It just. Uh,
You didn't enjoy it?
no, they went through the buildings like there were Lego buildings or something like that. Just destroyed them, and
It made you sad.
no, it was nothing at stake. I thought not for a second that there is anybody in the building or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah,
So
and that's
you needed to have people falling out of the buildings or something to that
yes,
would have made it
yes, and cut off limbs and heads and things like that.
right. Kind of like Batman and Superman or something like the total
Yeah.
destruction with repercussions. You mean you need the repercussions? You need the
Yes,
something to mean something.
yes, and piles of bodies that fill the streets and things like that.
Well, it didn't have that.
Yeah, yeah. So it was not really enough for me.
I
if
get
you
it.
have no if you have something fake like these scenes, or some where there are no bodies and things like that and no deaths, There are no injured, no deaths, no bodies. And you compare it to reality, like our pandemic, where you have all these sick people, thousands of deaths every day in your city. The streets are full of bodies. Well, if I compare it to that, so it's not realistic enough for me.
Well, that's understandable. Or like the 1954 Godzilla, where you show the people actually being affected by it. I guess they're just never going to do that again, huh?
Yeah, but Greg, if I'm
Would it have been more powerful for you if they had cut away from those and shown like
but Greg,
people being affected?
Greg, we are both living in a real pandemic. People are getting sick and dying here in your city and in your neighborhood. It's really you go on the street and there all are these bodies and they try to hide them, all these dead people from the pandemic and the sick people everywhere. And then you see such like a fake movie like King, like this one. And
yeah, it's hard for you to take. I understand.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So, but here, Basil, how did you like it?
I thought it was great. I love the movie. I just would like to have seen a little, probably a little bit less CGI, a little bit more better, a little better action, real action, a little less.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I just it's not for me. If I had to rewatch one of these four movies, these last 4 movies, I would just rewatch Skull Island maybe, but not one of the other ones. So all the GodzIlla ones kind of fail for me. And
I think this one is comparable to Skull Island, maybe even better. I've only watched it the once, so I got to think about it a little. But I know I came out of it enjoying the movie, so I was surprised.
Yeah, it was well written. I mean, there are some little flaws in it, like any movie,
but it had King Kong and Godzilla, and I'm a Godzilla guy, and Kong, and it was just it just seemed like it was well done. The monster fights were good, and that's all anybody really cares about.
No, yeah. For me personally, I'm not a fan of these crossovers anyway. I really don't like it when the heroes fight each other. I'm not a fan of a fight from Superman against Batman or something like that. And I'm also not a fan of fight from RoboCop against Terminator or Alien against Predator or here King Kong against Godzilla. I'm not a fan of things like that.
Well, then definitely, that probably influenced your opinion of the movie. Maybe you couldn't give it a fair assessment.
Yeah, the old one where King Kong fights Godzilla, I could give a pass because it was over the top anyway. It was a kind of comedy anyway. So
I think this one deserves a pass. I think it kind of had throwbacks to the original Godzilla versus Kong. I've spotted 3 throwbacks that were pretty obvious. Do you want me to go over those?
Yes, of course.
Okay, number 1, you remember Kong gets drunk up his butt in the 62 version and falls over, and then they transport him on the vessel, so you see him there crashed out. So
with the balloon.
You see him once again. He's crashed out on the vessel, and really this one even harkens back to the 76 and the other Kong, but he looks like he's wasted. So they don't show him getting wasted on the berry juice this time. But that was the first one. Kong totally wasted, passed out on the ship. The
Yeah,
second one. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay. The second one, if you remember, they transported him using balloons and that super strong line or whatever back in '62. This time they transported him using a net and helicopters, but it sure looked almost exactly the same. Seeing him float across with the being suspended in
Yes,
the air.
and
So that was my
and the crazy thing about this scene, the old one looked more realistic with the big balloons that they could carry him than the small helicopters.
That's true. It looked more realistic, ironically. And the third throwback, if you remember in the original, Kong takes a tree and stuffs it in Godzilla's mouth, and then Godzilla blasts it out using his flame breath. And in this one, he takes his axe and he stuffs it in his mouth and gets it blown out using the flame breath.
Yes, yeah, that's
so. I really appreciated those kind of callbacks to the original movie.
Yeah, and there was also a callback to the first movie where Kong climbs a building, which gets immediately destroyed.
Right. So. That's right. He did climb the building too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is okay. It's nice. As I said, this Skull Island and this one, I was looking forward to them, and I kind of enjoyed them. But yeah, when you hear my opinion on these movies, it's really not from it's not from an expert on GregZilla. It's really more from a normie. This is really more a normie take, which I gave here. Because these movies are not made for me. I'm not the target audience for them. So if I say they're okay for
just
me,
what are you the target audience for?
Yeah, but
you got that.
If I don't mind them, that's really highest praise I can give them, because normally I would rent the hell out of them. So yeah.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
Yes. Oh, finally we got through the good King Kong marathon.
Oh my God, we made it!
Woo-hoo. Yeah. So we are half through the program.
People around the world are cheering.
Yeah. So
we're almost 4 hours in.
Yeah. Didn't touch any of the other subjects. So,
no, we didn't.
Yeah. So
should we save those for next time?
Yeah, but let's talk just about one other subject, about this trailer here.
Oh, the trailer. Yes, I did see the trailer too.
Space Jam Part 2, Space Boogaloo. So it's from Ryan Coogler, the guy who made the boring Black Panther movie, and also I think Creed also. Yeah, 2 movies.
Didn't the guy who played Black Panther just die?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, and so did you get why I wanted you to watch the trailer? By the way.
Oh yeah, wasn't that our girl from Star Trek Discovery?
Mighty Spock. Spock's
sister. Mikey Spock.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe she was in that.
So Spock's sister herself.
Michael Burnham. I can't think of the actress's name. But yeah, it's supposedly Spock's sister.
Yeah. Isn't that her normal street name, Michael Burnham? Isn't that
I
the
think
name in her passport or something like that?
I think that's her name on the show. I don't think her name is really Michael. Why are they naming all these women with men's names? It's weird.
Yeah, maybe because of the angel, Michael, the angel or something like that. Because she
The
plays.
Archangel
Remember, everything's
Michael?
gone gender neutral
Yes,
now.
Is it
yes,
gender neutral? Is that why, Basil?
Mhm.
yeah, and she plays an angel in the series, so the archangel makes
Oh my
sense.
God, she does when she dons that red angel suit or whatever and zips around everywhere.
It's even called Red Angel. So this is really subtle.
You know what is she in this Space Jam movie? Is
Uh,
she a basketball player or
no,
I guess
she's here. The first one. What was the name of the basketball player here from the first one? Uh,
Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan. Yes, and she's Mickey Jordan. She's his
All right,
illegitimate
then she's going to end up being better than
step
all the
steps.
rest. You watch.
No, she's his stepsister.
Oh,
And
right? Like
yeah,
she was Fox.
yeah, because he had always a sister which he never mentioned in the first movie and would never brought up, and yeah, I guess that's her role. Or don't you think so?
I think definitely
Yeah, or
she's going to
maybe.
be the savior of the whole freaking movie. I can't believe she's in this movie. How in the world did they end up saddled with her? Did
Yeah,
CBS sponsor this thing or something?
I have no idea. It's
Well,
just
normally you know that stuff.
if I would care, but I don't. This is,
Right.
I
I
just
don't
don't.
blame you. I don't blame you. Don't waste
Really,
your time finding out either.
I was so glad to get through this stupid trailer because I was bored the hell out of me the first 20 seconds. I thought, oh my God.
I'm impressed you watched all the
Sorry.
Boggy Creek stuff for my show. I was amazed.
Hey, that was
But
entertaining like hell compared to any new shit nowadays.
yeah, I appreciate that, and it brought a nice perspective to the show.
Yeah, and with this Space Jam 2, did you get what the movie's about?
Not really.
Be
What's it about?
yeah, because uh, they have another game where everything is on the stake. So our new super base basketball, is it even a basketball player? I don't know. I because I don't know any. I just know this one from Space Jam. This
Was
was
it LeBron James or something? I don't keep up with the basketball as much as I used to.
yeah.
If
Is
you
it
ask
a
me about Michael Jordan or Akeem Olajuwon or something, that's when I used to watch it.
yeah? So I'm so I thought you know this guy because is this your biggest basketball star nowadays? I don't know.
I think LeBron James. I think that's who it was. Now
And
I
he's
would have went with Harden, but
and, and he's the biggest one. The
I
most.
believe so. Yes.
Oh
Maybe
my God.
maybe maybe Basil would know for sure.
Yeah,
Not quite.
Basil, who is the biggest basketball star
Yeah,
on
who?
this planet?
Well,
I
I
think it's
mean,
LeBron James, right?
yeah, right now it is. I mean, he's a troublemaker, but yeah, that's him.
The other
Oh,
guy retired and then got in a plane crash and died. Trying to think of
Oh
his
yeah,
name. Who was that? It's the
yeah,
one who
I know who
replaced
you're
Michael
talking about.
Jordan.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't
everybody
know.
made a big
I
deal
don't
out
know.
of him.
If Cub doesn't know, then I sure don't. Because Cub's
No.
like the super
I can't
sports fan.
remember.
Yeah, I know every player.
He knows every player of every sport.
Yes. So no, I have no clue. So Yes. Then they get into Toon World or something like that because there was a supercomputer or whatever.
That
There was
sounds right.
some annoying stuff was there.
Right.
I know because there was
I'm now drinking a margarita with tequila. So
yeah, because the first thing that really kind of directly where I got sober directly was when I saw the name Ryan Coogler, and I thought, oh my God, you know this name. It's not a good memory. And then it came during watching the trailer, it came to me. I thought, oh my God, it's the Black Panther guy. Oh my God, it's also the Creed guy. so, so yeah. And at the end of the trailer, I was already done with the movie. And in the middle, this shock here where Mickey Spock turns up. I thought, oh my God,
yeah,
how is
I could not
what
believe she was in it.
what the hell? Really? Something so obviously set up to fail. Uh, I'm pretty sure this is going to bomb like
Oh, it's gonna bomb.
yeah,
Mikey
because
Spock will be sure of that.
the first one was fun. Uh, I liked the first one. Space Jam was really, really a nice idea, well executed. It was
Well, there you go.
fun.
Maybe this one will surprise you. It's got Mikey Spock.
Yeah, and such a good director.
Right? We'll reserve our opinion until it comes out, like we always do.
Yeah, you do that because you are fair. You are Texan, but I'm a German.
I do try to be fair.
Yeah, and I'm a German. I don't have to be fair. I hate it already. I
he
already hate.
already hates. He already hates it, Basil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
typical Germans.
yeah. So I think it comes out in July. Is it correct?
I think so. What do you think, Basil?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have also July seems to be the month where all these movies come out, June or July,
It's going to be awesome.
and we have also Suicide
You'll be able to go to the movie theater again. Do y'all have a theater open in your town?
No, we don't have a theater in our town. It closed 1984 85.
85.
Uh,
Y'all couldn't even see Back to the Future too.
no, I could. I had to go to another town to see that.
Another
I didn't.
town.
Yes, the neighbor town. So, but I didn't.
Is that where the werewolves are? Oh my god.
Uh, probably.
Probably. The Black Forest?
I guess so because I live here near the Dutch border, and who knows what is going on besides the border.
Make a run for the border.
Yeah.
Always good to live near a border.
Yeah, but
that's like Black Bart.
Yeah, but this is we are not a border town. We are not border town here from from Mad Max 3. We have still. I'm living in a small village, a small town, 20,000 people, something like that, who is surrounded by border towns. We are surrounded by the three neighbor towns who are directly at the border, but not our town. Our town is kind of in the middle or something like that.
Well, that's cool. Y'all could build a wall.
No, we don't have to because we have nothing here. Everything is in the other towns. If you want to ride a train, you have to go to another town. If you want to go to the cinema, you have to go to another town. If you want to go to McDonald's or Burger King, these are all in the other towns.
Really?
Yes, this town.
Oh, that really sucks.
This town managed to isolate itself as if I would be the mayor or something like that. It's crazy. Really, we are here really completely.
Well, it sounds like the perfect kind of town for you, though.
No, it's not. It sucks here.
Well, other than all the problems we're having right now.
Yeah, but now it sucked also already before that. Because yeah, because as I said, they managed it to get that nothing came here because all the other towns I'm talking about are smaller. Even some of them are even smaller than this
Oh,
one.
come on! You got the cute Amazon girl.
And they couldn't even manage to get anything. So this town has nothing, zero.
You've got the Amazon girl who delivers your stuff. That's something.
Yeah, but last time the beer was delivered by a guy. So
Oh no!
yeah, yeah. Maybe she figured out. Oh my God, this is the most boring town I've ever been to.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't go there anymore. Yeah. So as I said, we have this other one, Suicide Slug Part 2, the
Right?
news or the suicide. Ah,
Oh, that's going to be terrible.
it's again one of those movies where they call the continuation whatsoever, not just putting a 2 and saying Suicide Boogaloo. No, they say the Suicide Squad this time.
Yeah, that's
I think.
inappropriate.
Yeah, something like that. Did you see? Did you see the trailer, by the way?
No, I didn't, but I
Uh,
will. I'll see it for the next stream, and it'll be awesome.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can't even imagine how good the next stream will be. You know why? Because we're finally going to get to that Omega Man review we've been promising.
Maybe.
And
Yeah,
I think we'll throw in Soylent Green as well.
oh, let's see. If you don't promise
scary.
too much here, and also,
promise nothing.
what was the third one? There was a third movie that is kind of where the trailer was kind of a thing. Can you remember which one?
No, I can't. Maybe Basil can.
Yes, here, Black Widow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, the second Black Widow trailer came out, and it's better than the first one, but still, I don't really care for the movie.
I'm not looking forward to Black Widow. I don't think it's going to do well. Haven't they pulled it from a theatrical release and moved it to Disney Plus?
No,
They're going to charge like $30 a pop.
It has two both releases. It has you can
Simultaneous release.
Yeah, it has a simultaneous release.
Yeah, that ain't going to do any good.
Oh, probably, but it's Disney. Disney doesn't seem to care about money.
No, it's amazing.
Obviously not. They've lost billions already.
Yeah, like all the companies.
Well, CBS didn't care about money, and their stock lost half its value. They've been pushing this agenda stuff with Star Trek, and it's finally showing up in the stock value. And that that's going to get people's attention eventually.
Yes,
we're talking billions of dollars.
Yes, they really completely demolished the brand. Star Trek.
Not quite. I mean, there's still some value, but that's only because it was Star Trek. Something like Doctor Who, I think they've completely demolished.
Yes, Doctor Who is dead, and but Star Trek is really in his last breaths. Did they announce anything? Oh, they announced. I think this Strange Worlds or something like that. Was that this not a thing they wanted to do? Or is it still a thing or not?
Or not? Yeah, I think it is going to go through, but they lost all that money, so that might affect whether it comes through or not. But they certainly, Strange New Worlds looks like it was coming through.
Really? Okay. I didn't follow up on that because
Yeah, I think so. From what I've seen, we're going to actually have another series, and they're going to try and do it right. I think one of our friends, World Class Bullshitters or something, had Tom or somebody had a video about it.
yes, I saw the thumbnail, but I didn't have the time to check it out because I had to watch so many.
The
so
Boggy
many.
Creek.
Yes. Yeah, it's so many other things to watch, and also all the other things we normally would have talked about, like Pennyworth and things like that.
Oh, and the Resident Alien. There's a lot of good stuff. We'll just have to do all that next time, I think. There's not time to really do it right.
Yeah, I would say we do it next time, and
Solar Opposites. You got to watch at least season 1. You can probably watch season 2, and that'll be a good one to go over.
Yes.
Did you ever watch the latest season of Rick and Morty?
Yes, of course.
I don't know if we've talked about it or not.
Yeah.
At least not here on the air.
So, Greg,
so there's several things.
What do you think? If we have so much to talk about, should we make our next stream maybe in 2 weeks?
2 weeks? How about 3 weeks?
Yeah, okay. Now 3 weeks. That would be then in the middle of nothing. Kind of. Then we could say maybe in 4 weeks because we just have to stick to the
schedule.
2, 4, 6, something like that in the schedule.
Okay, because if we do an odd number, something bad happens.
Yeah, so
you end up with Star Trek 5.
Yeah, because that would be the one in 2 weeks would be the one which would be themed with They Live. It would be kind of John Carpenter one, but in 4 weeks it would be the Gattaca one.
Okay, well that sounds good.
Yes, that sounds good.
We can always change our minds.
Yeah. So well, maybe we see each other again in 4 weeks, and so I say goodbye and thanks for joining us here. Also the Germans who risked a look. Thanks for being here, VN and Moomin. And yeah, so yeah, and by the way, don't forget here, Greg, your next stream. When is your next stream?
I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, so
I don't know. I was thinking like monthly, so maybe around the same time next month.
Yeah.
So maybe in 4 weeks. Yeah, I got to do research. I haven't decided which mysteries I want to pursue, and then I got to research them. So I was going to do the streams when I felt like I had a proper job done. You know, I didn't want to just half-ass stuff. I wanted to try and do it right.
Yeah, could you Can you do some research on this Democrat species?
I can try.
Yeah, where do they come from? And really important, how can you defeat them?
I don't know. They may be interdimensional beings.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe we find some of the portals where they stick through from this other dimension. I mean, this dimension of wokeness.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like here Mirror Earth or something like that, where everything is on the head and women pretend to be men and things like that.
So Cub is talking about my my mystery series. I did my first stream today, and Cub and Basil were on it, where we discussed the legend of Boggy Creek and the lost colony of Roanoke. along with a few other things. So on my channel, occasionally we're going to do some mystery streams and maybe some other streams, horror or something, depending on what people want.
Yes, yes, and well, maybe even we could do
I certainly have plenty of options out there.
we could do the Omega Man or Solid Green one on your channel if you like.
Yeah, we could. Or we could do part of it on yours and part of it on mine.
Yeah, yeah, because when we have so much stuff constantly here on this one,
You get overloaded.
Yeah, we get overloaded, and it would be
Like
a
one
nice
of
idea,
the,
really.
like a computer in a early Star Trek episode where Kirk overloads it, and I was planning on doing some videos on Omega Man and Soylent Green and stuff. So I might do a stream like you do, coinciding with the video. That would be cool.
That would be great. Really, I'm really looking forward to that. So
I got some ideas. I've certainly been working on it for quite a while.
Yeah, so I would say goodbye to everybody.
Auf Wiedersehen and goodbye from Texas. Say goodbye, Basil.
Hey, it's been fun, Cub. See you again soon, bud.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
care.
and really cool that we could finally defeat MechaBazzilla.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, we found out in the last second that he's he's the bad guy.
Battle evil wizard.
I always suspected it.
Yeah, the name should have given it away. The mecha at the name should have given it away, but we couldn't see that. So
when the sound got cut off, that's when he was replaced with the bad one. King Ghidorah or whatever took over.
Yes,
the evil MechaBazzilla.
Yes, when he overload and
when he overloaded.
You know, and then he changed from normal Basil into MechaBazzilla. Yeah.
Well, luckily, Basil had to go get some beer, and MechaBazzilla seemed to whack him upside the head and knock him out when he was not suspecting.
Yeah. So goodbye to everybody, and
goodbye.